Eldar stuff, you say? Could be cool. Noticing my multi-chat's not working. Oh no. Making sure everything's good. All right. Yo. Welcome in. So we are waiting a little bit here. While we wait, what rumors we've been hearing? What rumors we've been seeing?
Poggers.
I know Custodies were up there. That's what Jay Peacock's talking about. Are we hoping for Sisters of Silence? Because I think the red top knot thing was always like Sisters of Silence side. I mean, they always have those little red plumages as well, but man, after that full, year of people complaining that Sisters of Silence didn't get anything to look at, maybe we'll get some update for that. My Vapor Trail is looking for some Eldar stuff. I don't know if we're going to get Eldar stuff, right? Red Corsairs, that is one of the big ones for pirates. I don't know if they're rumored as a kill team, and this whole preview show doesn't have kill team in the mix, although technically kill team is 40k, so them being like, oh, we got 40k announcements. They could announce it for 40k and be like, oh, by the way. But, doubtful. I mean, this season for Kill Team has been just elites after elites after elites. Coolin thinking a Chaplain in Phobos armor. That could be worth it. I think that was a gap, right, that people were looking into to try to figure out getting some more units. Guesses it's going to be some 30k plastic stodes. Yeah, there was the idea that it was more on the 30k side of things. If they were smart, they would make it 40k compatible. Because even locally speaking, 30k is niche among niche. So, if you want to sell your stuff, you make it 30 into 40. The Iron Warriors pin, I think someone noticed him having an Iron Warriors pin, and, I mean, the running rumor for a while has been, what, Mutilators and the new Defiler. Personally, if they drop the new Defiler, I want them to be like, here's the Defiler, and here's the info for it for Emperor's Children. Because I do think Emperor's Children need something. We need a step in a different direction. Just like one off-brand unit that kind of works. What's up, human lag? Because supposedly there were some very low-res pictures of the new Defiler. And among the low-res pictures was sort of a Slaneshi mark, but the reality is that Defilers are used in Chaos Undivided, like the Chaos Standard Space Marines list, at which point, yeah, you'd have a Slanesh mark. Like, you just make it that, maybe give it +1 inch to move or something, which it needs, because it's huge. I don't know who follows the competitive scene, but in a lot of instances, in at least the US, for the table layouts, large vehicles are rarely used because they are hard to maneuver, Defilers being one of them. The Emperor's Children Sonic Dreadnought is, I think, equivalent on the list as a 40k Osiren Dreadnought for Thousand Suns, for something like that I want. I went looking for the image. I'm running off of it as an image rumor that I think Valrak dropped and that my buddy saw and then was like, oh yeah, I saw it. And I think it's mostly just the symbol. Right, the little circle with the crescent moon and all that. I'm going to need to head down to the audio over here to make sure I can cut it when we start going. Because I was looking for it the other day. But I think the standard Defilers have components that make them look slightly different. What would be cool is if the Defiler kit was Defiler and the Soul Grinder at the same time. Because I know Soul Grinders, the whole thing was like, oh, they're getting legended. Soul Grinders are out. They're still in, I think, still. They're still up there. I think there's still points values to them. I still want to use some. I do like playing Tzeentch Demons, although, again, it is up in the air whether or not Tzeentch Demons remain. Sort of all comes down to what camp you're part of, I guess. A lot of people think that the demons are going to get cycled out going into 11th, at which point there would be no reason for Soul Grinders, because the demons would only exist in the Pantheon Codexes, which means you wouldn't have the named characters outside of the big ones. You wouldn't have a lot of the odd units like the Soul Grinder, and then most of it would just go to AOS only. Which would be sad. I do miss using my Changeling. He was so fun. I was playing in a random little pickup game where my Changeling actually fully shut down a Wave Serpent for a turn. That was hilarious. The only unit he brought within range of shooting of my my Changeling, and I turned off all its guns. It's pretty good. But what do we think the Mutilator? Because I know Mutilators were up there, and Mutilators just look like melee version Obliterators. Do we think we're getting a different Obliterator kit? Are they just going to, like, merge those two? And finally give us Obliterators separate to the Venom Crawler? Maybe make the Venom Crawler a solo box? Because, again, I've got 4 Obliterators I'm never going to use sitting in a little box over to the side because I wanted 2 Venom Crawlers. Yeah, I think Red Corsairs was a big one. What do they do for Red Corsairs? That feels like it would have to be a kill team. Because they're just gonna be regular, like, Legionary, right? They're just going to be regular Legionary, just with an upgrade sprue. They're going to be like the Nemesis Claw. So I'd imagine they'd have to drop them as a kill team. I wonder if they're just merging kill teams announcements into the 40k bracket. Something to think about. But yeah, how are you all doing? Everyone among YouTube and Twitch. Got any projects you're working on? Now I'm starting to think about the Eldar reveals, because my Vapor Trail's hoping for Eldar stuff. I don't think... I can't imagine Eldar would get anything. They just had their massive overhaul of all their Aspect Warriors, right? Like, there's a ton of new ones. Oh, nice. Space Wolf Sealy. My arch nemesises. Nemesi? I'm gonna go Nemesi. Nice, got the blue base coats going. Emperor's Children standard color schemes, pretty alright. I do like alternate color schemes, though. I keep seeing a lot of really cool alternate color schemes for things. Recently, I was shown an Emperor's Children, or a Thousand Suns color scheme that was sort of like a dark green, somewhere between a scorpion, like the Eldari Scorpions, and the Dark Angels. Like, it's not quite bright, but it's not quite dark. And then silver lining on the armor, which looked really cool. Oh, waiting for the Magic the Gathering pre-release stuff. That's cool. Black and pink EC are fine. I did the purple and gold just because I like the original colors. The whole idea is that the list that I'm building is kind of like clinging to the past, which is why I'm using the transfigured Fulgrim from 30K instead of the new one. It's like those... It's like the 50-year-olds that go to their high school reunions wearing their Letterman's jacket. Can't let go, man. Can't let go. Working on Death Guard. You got a lot of things going. The question is, how do you use the black and pink? Because you could almost do full black armor and then, like, pink pauldron outlines and stuff. Like, you don't have to go crazy with it. Or you can just go full pink. The black lining, like usual. I think the new iteration, right, is that some armor panels are black, some armor panels are pink. You kind of mix and match. Almost checkerboard-esque, but not really. Dude, you gotta hit them with the song that never ends, though. I mean, I feel like you wasted the Barney theme on the army that isn't about the annoying music. That was... Okay, so... An original idea that I had when I started painting my Emperor's Children before I decided on the whole underglow concept. I was thinking of just painting them with all-white primer and then completely hit them with Golem and Flesh. Like, that would just be their armor color, is just flesh tone. Get some highlights in there with the flayed one. Then again, I did want to make an orc army in the same fashion, because flesh-colored orcs, hilarious. Looks like we got about 2 minutes. I'm not expecting this to be a long reveal show. I'm expecting this to be kind of quick. Do you think they're going to push the video games a little bit more, too? I think they might. I feel like Games Workshop is super happy with how the video games are doing. But I also think that they're overselling the ones that won't do as well. But if this is more than 20 minutes, I'd be kind of impressed. To be clear, I've not done this using the audio in the way that I'm about to. So you guys are going to have to let me know if it's too loud or too quiet. God, I really hope we get some Emperor's Children stuff. I still have to shoot off a message to the tournament runner for the tournament I'm going to be hitting up in February, beginning of February. Because I might, still thinking about it, but not quite sure, I might pick up a Horus Heresy Land Raider Protea so that I could have 2 Land Raiders for a rapid evisceration Emperor's Children detachment list that I was thinking of. I have to make sure that they're cool with it, because as most people know, the 30k Land Raiders are a little bit smaller than the 40k Land Raiders, which feels a little bit like modeling for Advantage. Which I say out loud, knowing fully that I did watch a GT once. I want to say it was on the Warhammer channel, too, that I was watching this, where one of the coterie of conceited players was rocking 3 winged demon princes from the old box, where the wings are actually pinned back and folded in so that they're not spread out and harder to hide, and they were fine with it. So, like, on one hand, it's like, these tanks are a little smaller, maybe it's bad, and then on the other, it's just like, I could also be a dick and use pinned back wings on my demon princes. Land Raider Terminus. Oh. Ladies and gents. It's about that time. Also, for those actually watching today, and those who've been checking out the Warhammer channel, the opening game of this invitational that they're showing off is one of the players is Justin. Justin is playing Scintillating Legion Tzeentch Demons. Justin is one of the people I first met when I joined the sort of local store club. He's a local. I've played against him a couple times. He's really, really good at the game. We played in a 4v4 as well, one of those team tournaments. I'm feeling like the desktop audio is a little loud. Let me get that for you guys. So he's currently picking apart an Emperor's Children player. Although, since this is live, you probably can't watch it anymore. It's one of those sad things, too, because the Emperor's Children player just brought in a Mauler Fiend from Rapid Ingress, and the guys that host were just talking about how Mauler Fiends are the big tide turners for that army, and they get a lot of work done. I have a Mauler Fiend, and it's, in every game that I've played it, done absolutely nothing. At most, I think I ran it to one of the objectives to score some points, and then it died immediately. The few people I've put it into, like if I put it into like a small squad of people, for some reason it doesn't kill anyone, even though statistically I should. And if I put it into a vehicle, I barely do damage to it. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just not allowed to use Mauler Fiends. Because that was one of the other things I was thinking of buying for my Emperor's Children list was a Mauler. But honestly, I'd rather have more Land Raiders. I like the idea of rapid evisceration in that list, where the Land Raiders get rerolls of 1s to hit and wound on all their guns. That's so fantastic. Just 8 las cannon shots, rerolling 1s to hit, rerolling 1s to wound. It's just, ooh, chills. And then filling them with Flawless Blades and Noise Marines to hop out for their rerolls as well. So good. Granted, that list definitely sucks. I think the few tournaments where people have run Rapid Evisceration have experienced something like a 30% win rate or something. It's not good. I don't know if it's just because they don't use Land Raiders, because again, the US maps are bad with Land Raiders. They don't usually have enough space to move them around easily. But you're saying a Land Raider Terminus. Now I'm interested. Maybe next time we'll make a bingo card for this. Oh, the Terminus just has extra las cannons? Wait, is the Terminus a Legends thing? Like, did they put the Terminus in Legends? It is all las cannons. Jesus Christ. Oh, now I need to know. That has to be a Legends model. Land Raider Proteus, Achilles. How the hell do you get a Terminus? Is that just a fandom thing? Wait, Ultramarines, like actual Ultramarines, have access to the Terminus, or are we just talking lore? Space Marines. So one guy was just like, yo, dog, I'm gonna hit you with this Terminus. Ultramarines. Yeah, that's not even in Legends for them anymore, it doesn't look like. They just have the Achilles, the Excelsior, the Helios, the Prometheus, and the Proteus. And then their standards are, of course, Crusader and Redeemer. I wonder if the information for it's still here. It doesn't exist anymore, so yeah, they must have just fully dropped it. Even dropped it out of Legends. Oh, did I find it? Okay, they call it the Terminus Ultra. QRS. Yep, it's still here. Legends, Terminus Ultra, T12, save 2, wound 16. Standard fare for a Land Raider, but yeah, dude. Terminus las cannons for the twin linked, and then you can overload them. How many of these do you even get? Holy crap. 3 Terminus las cannons and 2 standard las cannons. So you have 3 Terminus las cannons that you can take to 14 strength if you overheat them. AP3 D6 plus 3 damage. That's wild. What's its transport capacity? Oh no. It has transport as like info, but the transport capacity doesn't exist on the data sheet. That's pretty fun. What up, Max? So what are you doing for your Black Legion with it? You're just going to use it as a fun model, but then it's still just a Land Raider? Because, I mean, we're Chaos. We only get one goddamn Land Raider. We get the one! There are no options. Yeah. Land Raiders are hard to use. They just are. And here I am trying to get 2 of them together for my Emperor's Children. I'm thinking about it, man. I have to message him first. Because if I message him and he's like, I think we want to stay away from the Proteus, I'll be like, oh, okay. Changes my list idea. Changes what I'm about to purchase. Which is probably good. I was trying to get out to the Kill Team event the other day so I could try to teach some of the new players some fun ideas and strategies and ways to approach the game. And kind of became a problem because starts at 6, takes a half hour to get there, and then I had to carpool my sister at 6. So like I would have shown up at like 7 with only like an hour to go. There was no reason to go. But my original plan was to go there, play, show some people some stuff, and then use my winnings to possibly buy that Land Raider. But now I'm just kind of like, whatever. If I do end up getting it, I am going to have to drive out there anyway, in case they have it. I might call them first, either way. Yeah, sometimes you got to quit hanging out with terrible people. Always depends. There's a weird subreddit post I walked into. And the subreddit was from the Warhammer community, or the Warhammer competitive section, where it's apparently this person who does like these massive multi-paragraph long write-ups about how pissed they are all the time. And then recently it was one about how pissed they are at themselves for being pissed all the time. It was weird. It was weird. Apparently, like, they're known about on that subreddit. They just talk all the time. And, like, the entire comment section was people being like, look, dude, I've followed you for all these posts, and shit's crazy. It's some weird stuff, man. Some weird stuff. We got a car loan. Yo, Max, whatever happened with the person from your job that like stole everyone's identities or something? Did anything actually come out of that, or was it like a weird, just a weird nothing thing? Did they get him? They bring him to justice. Oh no. It was you. It was you the whole time. That's fine, man. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, your story sounds exactly the same as some other people from our community. I think one of them was a person who only ever wanted to play 8th. I think that was his thing. Or he played 8th, but he utilized rules from like 7th or something. There was some weird mix. of what he's trying to do. Like, it's so weird. The stories that he was telling us of like, oh yeah, and then whenever rules come up where like we'd get an advantage, he'd be like, nah, that doesn't work here. I'm not going to let that work here. It's one of those people, which I get. 40K as a community does bring people in occasionally who have whatever virus in their minds of I need to win all the time. Like, what would we call it? Like main character syndrome. You get those people. And you gotta figure it out. You either gotta figure out how to, like, loop it back around where they're like, you know what, I'm okay losing. Or you just kind of walk away. Ah, did you change your name, Case? Did you get hit with the YouTube we're changing your name by force kind of moment? Also, yeah, we recently played Blackstone. Crazy. We just figured out how the wounds work because we were really...
Hello everybody and welcome to this very exciting New Year Warhammer preview. I'm Adam Troke. I'm joined by my friend and colleague Eddie.
Let me know if the volume's weird.
Delighted to welcome you all here.
Yeah, we've got some very cool Warhammer reveals for you on the way in this preview. We have some Warhammer 40,000, some Warhammer Age of Sigmar, a little bit of Horus Heresy, some new animation to have a look at, and some Blood Bowl. So it is a packed preview with a little bit of something from every corner of Warhammer.
Fantastic. We're joined by loads of you already in the chat on both YouTube and on Twitch. Thank you for coming and spending some time with us. We're going to wait a while before we jump into the first preview so that people can continue to flood in. And it's always nice to do a little bit of, welcoming and greeting everybody. It's nice to know where you're all from. So if you wouldn't mind just punching into the chat, if you're in Twitch, we'll be following along. We've got some people monitoring the questions and making sure that Eddie and I get fed the right information. So let us know where you're tuning in from. While you do that, maybe we can talk about what we've been doing hobby-wise.
You've been doing some hobby, Adam?
I have been doing some hobby. Here is my latest offerings. I've been doing an Angels of Death kill team for kill team, and I've Dark Angels them up. You can see there because they come in blue plastic, and I've been adding bits from my pretty extensive Dark Angels bits box.
They look lovely.
Yeah, they're all right. They're a bit more advanced. They're all undercoated, and a couple of them are base coated.
Oh, show off.
Well, yeah, I've not played as much Kill Team as I'd like, and this is my endeavour to get properly into it in the next few
We'll have
weeks.
to have a game when you've got them all ready.
Yeah, I imagine you'll beat me up, but that'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll have fun. We'll be fine.
I can keep
That's
raising.
the main thing, right? What about
keep
you?
going
Well,
on.
I've been painting an even better chapter, the Space Wolves.
Top two, I'd give you that.
Wow.
What up, Kobold?
I've just been painting dreadnoughts mostly. Just big dreadnoughts, little dreadnoughts, all the dreadnoughts I could find.
Are these for anything?
They are for a team event for Warhammer 40,000.
Oh, I wish those Saturnines were like
And why
cheaper.
Brand
They're so
Redmores?
cool.
They are Brand Redmores, yeah. So
I kind of want to run them as like
I could find for my group company.
freaking
perfect.
demon princes or something.
It'd be
Just
nice
something
to,
out
just
there.
get a sense of where you're all tuning in from. We're seeing we've got people tuning in from Spain and France, a bunch from the US, so welcome. Loads of people from the UK, and even here in Nottingham. And a couple, it seems, as far-flung as the upside-down lands of Australia. So well done for Iron Manning it and staying up all night.
Yeah.
That's good. Really lovely to have you all here. If you are tuning in from far-flung places and you want to join in the conversation online, we've got our international social media teams. You'll see them here for Facebook and Instagram. Why not?
Yeah, I need some DPs on foot, but I don't want to buy any more DPs.
In your own language, if you like. Yeah. Perfect. One of the things that we'll be doing, I mentioned previously, is we'll be keeping an eye on Twitch stream. If you want to ask a question, type the word question in block caps and then write your question afterwards, and we'll try and filter through and cover some questions about the things that we're showing to make sure that you get the answers that you need.
Yeah, we'll try and tell you all the important stuff, but there might be some things that you really, really, really want to know, and if anything like that, pop in the questions.
Yeah, I would suggest keeping it about the releases.
Oh yeah, not just generally, not just like,
stuff,
how big is a blue whale, that sort of stuff.
Exactly, and
It's
there's only so
specifically
much
about Warhammer.
Yeah, there's only so much time in the world, right? We reckon we'll be here probably for the next hour and a quarter or
Something
so.
like
Hour and a quarter, we
how
in.
fast we talk.
We in, boys.
And how much stuff there is to show, and there is a lot. We've already told people what we're going to show. We've already done the introductions. People know how to ask questions. I think it might be time to go to our first reveal. Let's go to the grim darkness of the Dark Millennium.
There they are. Yo, we're getting apothecaries? Ooh. Ooh, there are Eldar stuff. Congratulations. The hell's a Starfang?
What a way to kick off the preview show with incredible releases, all themed around the Maelstrom. Eddie, how do we even start with this?
This is a fairly sizable release for Warhammer 40,000, and two armies are getting a lot of new plastic miniatures. Chaos Space Marines and the forces of the Eldari. If we start on the diabolically heretical side of things, this is Huron Blackheart and the Masters of the Maelstrom. We knew, of course, that Huron Blackheart was on his way. We suspected there might have been some other Corsair-looking things.
He's so goofy looking. He's almost like an orc.
We can now reveal that he is on his way as part of a character box set, not unlike the Titus box set we saw released over recent weeks. And it is a phenomenal set of miniatures, starring, of course, Huron Blackheart. We've seen this guy before a little bit, but just a reminder for those of you who might not have seen him already.
It's always nice to look at the Tyrant of Adab, the master of the Red Corsairs. There he is with his little demonic...
pirate on pirate action.
And he's showing what happens when you go on the wrong side of a melter-gun, signed courtesy of Captain Andocles of the Star Phantoms chapter. He doesn't come alone, as you mentioned. There is a swathe of interesting characters in his retinue. Why don't we take a look at
So this is like the GSC
First
character box.
Would be Geryon the Corpse Master. He's the Lord Apothecary of the Red Corsairs. He was the apothecary in the Astral Claws, the chapter that was. And he was part of Huron's machinations to sort of play about with their gene seed and evade the gene seed tithe, which is the whole problem that kicked off the Fourth Quadrant Rebellion in the first place.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, well, exactly so.
So some fun stuff about how he plays in games. Obviously, he is kind of not really got the best interest at heart of the Red Corsairs that he battles alongside. You can see a Red Corsair on the base there, probably
clutching the apron awkwardly.
Yeah, he's not going to get the medical attention that he's particularly looking for. He has a special rule basically where if a Red Corsair unit near him is at half strength, he can have a command point because he's harvesting the gene seed and that's what he's looking for. He can also bring models back into the unit that he is in. So Huron and his retinue are a little bit more durable. Not the battlefield medic that the Red Corsairs might want, but definitely the one they deserve. Next up in line is Qatar Garrix, who is the headsman of the Red Corsairs. This is Huron Blackheart's personal executioner, and he comes appropriately.
He's like the least inspired model, but it's still fine.
Swept up in the Fourth Quadrant Rebellion and part of the Badab War. He signed on permanently.
Like, why are we still in the realm of wooden axe handles?
And now serves as kind of like a warning to any Red Corsairs that might want to step out of line. His presence on the bridge of a vessel will quell even the smallest rumor of insurrection. Yeah, I think if you turn up with the heads of the previous 7 people who had insurrections, that certainly sends a message, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely. In game terms, no massive surprises that he is very good at killing enemy characters. He has precision and anti-character on his weapons, which is pretty cool. Nice, and he just looks incredible. Really
precision and anti-character. He's the Emperor's champion.
To send the message to anybody who wants to hear it. Next up in this retinue, and if you had Mantis Warriors in 2026 on your bingo card, congratulations. This is Garlon Soul Eater, who was once a Mantis Warriors librarian. He has signed up with the Red Corsairs, and he is known as the Tyrant's Witch, a formidable psyker, now a Chaos Sorcerer, and he uses his powers to sort of corrupt the minds of those around him. There's stories of him sort of turning the crews of gun decks against their allies and firing salvos at supposedly friendly ships. And he's kind of like Huron's spy master and manipulates all of the sort of schemes around. There's a lot of schemes Huron. If you're a pirate to keep track of. Well, I imagine so, right? He's also got a really cool helmet, and the rumour is he hasn't taken it off for more than a decade, and maybe he's hideously mutated underneath.
He hasn't taken a helmet off for more than a decade? Dude, imagine the smell in that helmet. He has a precision psychic attack that is D6 plus 1 damage. But yeah, cool, and I'm happy they're making the Red Corsairs more of a faction. I was kind of hoping they'd flesh out other ones, like Word Bearers or something, but this is fine. Space Marine, Chaos Space Marine, I suppose, within Huron's retinue. These guys are kind of the Imperial Fists of Chaos in a way.
The captain of the Reign of Spite. This is Captain Sargota. She was once a Imperial Navy commander from the Solar Segmentum fleets. Incredibly well placed within the noble houses, long lineage and dynasty behind her. She was politically outmaneuvered once she was injured, and while she was convalescing, sort of her position and station were taken from her. In revenge, she essentially orchestrated the handover of an entire naval dockyard and its ships and crews to a pirate fleet. I wonder who's.
It's good to get some IG over here.
And now she serves on one of the biggest.
We got that Dark
battle cruisers in
Mechanicum
Iran's
rumor.
fleet, where she
Going into 11.
oversees a lot of his
Could be
operations.
kinda cool.
She also joins the battlefield sometimes, which is why she's on this command airs here.
Yeah, I think this is my favourite.
Although I feel like
model
the
from
Dark
this box
Mechanicum
set.
really good.
rumor
Really,
happens
really
all the
looks
time.
like a nice, characterful diorama piece. The thing that she's floating around on actually is something that she uses during boarding of enemy ships. So it's effectively like a mobile command dais, but she can plug it into the command stations of enemy ships once they've been boarded to take it over.
Yeah.
So she's all.
It's
in
a hoverboard.
You can imagine all the mechadendrites underneath. You can imagine them slotting into all the ports in a plundered ship, and then suddenly all of those data slates behind there come alive with all the information you need to essentially steal an entire
She's a
battle.
zoomer.
I like the little bird skulls on the shoulder as well. I like to imagine one of those was a parrot.
There you go. Yep, very practical. Fantastic model and really exciting addition. The next one, maybe even stranger, and a lot of people have been trying to guess what this.
I do love
I don't
this.
think anyone guessed right.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
If you did, well done.
This is a Tyrellian dog soldier known as the Enforcer. She is essentially the warrior that Huron sends out to hunt down those who would dissent against him. And maybe there's people naysaying his leadership or reneging on deals. And so the Enforcer hunts them down relentlessly. She'll go as far as it takes to do so. And she takes with her Plunder, which is the canine-ish, canid-looking creature. That is, if you were wondering, an adolescent Barghisi. If the term Barghisi is familiar to you, that's because in Warhammer
Bargheist.
40,000 there's a thing called the hyper-violent Barghisi, which has appeared a couple of times in our lore. This is what they look like before they are big enough to be called the hyper-violent. When she first met it, it bit her arm off, which is why she's got that unusual bionic sort of fist thing that you can see there. Now it serves essentially as her little hunter-killer. But she has to keep an eye on it because they're prone to spates of really rapid growth, and eventually it will become too big to manage. And rumours of Barghisi like devastating entire spaceports run rife. So she will eventually have to take it to the Warhammer 40,000 equivalent of the Woodshed.
Or the space farm.
Oh yeah, well, a happy ending for everybody in the grim darkness of the far future.
I think what this miniature does in terms of like telling you about the story of Huron and the Maelstrom itself is indicating that not only have you got like renegade Chaos Space Marines and humans, you also have
No, yeah, the hosts do
pirates
what
and
they
bounty hunters
do.
and all the kind of
This is always what they do.
piratical forces from the whole region gravitating towards the Maelstrom. So it's not just about Chaos Space Marines. He is.
This
the
makes
master
it
of this
feel a
enormous
little
pirate
more like
empire.
a rogue
Yeah,
trader
the
squad,
Enforcer's
right?
disposal are
Because
vast
when you
and,
add in like a
wants
Xenos
to resist the
as
sort
part of your
oppressive
squad,
regime,
it
as they
feels
call
less
it,
like
the Imperium or
specific.
other, places, then the Maelstrom might be the place for you, and I'm sure he's a very kind heart.
Which is pretty cool. Because you got the IG, a bunch of Chaos Space Marines, and then just straight up a Xenos.
The Masters of the Maelstrom are joined by this box set. Everything you see here
Ooh,
comes in a
Trader
big box
Guard.
called the Lords of the Maelstrom, and is essentially the heart of a Red Corsairs army. It's got loads of great models in it, including some brand new ones.
Trying to
Let's take
see-
you through, what you can see in here.
Yeah, so some of these miniatures,
Okay.
all of these miniatures will eventually be available separately. Some of these are old miniatures with upgrade kits, some of them are brand new miniatures. These are Raiders, they are a brand new miniature set. These are effectively the elite of the Red Corsairs. They sit somewhere between Legionaries and Chosen in terms of power and hierarchy.
Yep.
And they are the veterans of the Badab Wars and the various different conflicts within the Maelstrom.
There's 5
as
of
far as
them.
in-game, they are
Oh,
a really
okay.
useful little unit. They have Infiltrate, they have 3 wounds each, they have a really respectable combat
Oh, yeah.
stat line, and they've also got things like melter guns and power fists and stuff
Dude, these
built
look
into the unit. So a
these
really
look
useful
straight up
all-round
like kill
they're not
team
just,
ready,
great
and the fact that they're
game models,
not
also the models are
coming
fantastic, right? This is
like
personification
specifically
of
for
what
kill
it means
team.
to
Like
be a
maybe they get
veteran
rules when they drop, but
existing outside of the
they look
structures
perfect
of
for
the,
kill
these
team.
mighty Space Marine legions. So a lot of their war gear looks scavenged, and the plate armor and so on is sort of cobbled together. They've got lots of
and in a
trappings
time
on
when the
them from various
Legionary are
battles
no
and enemies
longer
they fought.
like
It's
a
really quite
competitive
exciting to see
list.
these.
Lots of them have got like pelts of wild animals or
Yeah,
coarse
absolutely.
hair, as I like to call it.
Oh, very good, very good. There's more within this box set. Next up, you can see the Chaos Terminator squad. These are the Chaos Terminators that you already know and love. If you're
Yeah,
a Chaos Space
there's
Marine
nothing
player.
different, really.
The difference here being they have
They got like fur though.
new sculpted detail shoulder pads, which are included within this box set. So essentially, you can just tailor them to look like Red Corsairs. Obviously, Chaos Terminators are fantastically useful if you're living your life via the medium of shipboarding actions.
Yeah,
and so on.
there's quite a lot of Chaos Terminators that show up in some of the Red Corsair Black Library stories as well.
Yeah,
So this is
absolutely.
very thematic for them to have. I think they look great in red and black as well.
It's a really striking colour
It's a good colour scheme.
Yeah, absolutely. Similarly, you have the Legionaries. This is the same kit that you might be used to from the other.
Just with upgrade sprues.
And again, there's upgrades that tailor them towards looking like Red Corsairs. So you've got these fantastic Red Corsair shoulder pads, and then you've got some other details as well. We'll show what they look like in a moment. But you've got like heads and some.
There's like ammo belts out there and trophies and
that
that sort of stuff.
There's the upgrades,
that is the whole upgrade kit. So you can.
They got the Eldari skull.
You've got the shoulder
Eldari
pads
skull and an
you know,
Eldari
also
head.
fit anything
Nice.
in that kind of like
Yeah,
size
absolutely.
of armor. If you want to have some like raptors or something, you could do those too. You've got some really cool unhelmeted heads.
I think
there.
the heads are the most exciting.
The heads are
for
cool,
me
yeah.
out of
I mean,
this.
it's
I imagine
all
this is
and
going to
then
be
there's some
sold
big jumpers
separately
as
as a
well, so if you want
box.
to have like rhinos and land raiders. and
Kind of like the
dreadnoughts and
upgrade
things
sprues
that
for
have,
Space Marines.
The appropriate iconography on it, you can do that too.
Yeah, what you get with this transfer sheet is way more than you need to do just the models that come in the set. So if you're looking to build a big Red Corsairs force, well, you'll be able to. Right, that was all pretty exciting, but it's not done. There's also
Trader
the
Guard.
Guardsmen. These are the exact Trader Guardsmen you know and love. They're just in red and working for the Red Corsairs, and they kind of exemplify all of those people that flock to Huron's banner and sort of try and survive outside of the restrictions of the Astra Militarum and the Imperium at large.
That's fair. And we've got one more miniature, I think. for
Yeah,
the Red
and
Corsairs.
so bringing up the Rhea is actually my favourite model out of this launch. I think the
Reeve
Reeve Captain
Captain.
just hits home on what it means to be a Renegade Chaos Space Marine. Just a fantastic model.
It does look like a
Mod pack,
really
the one
good
right in the
model.
centre is the one that really gets me.
Like in general.
Loads of detail, loads of plunder. He's picked up bits and pieces from lots of battles, and he just looks incredible. And he's quite good in the game, right?
Yeah, so there's loads of options on the kit to start with. So this is a multi-part plastic kit. You've got a choice of 2 different combat weapons. They've got different stats in the game. You've got a sword and you've got a mace. You can have a plasma pistol if you want him to have, or you can have a bolt pistol.
Is he specific for
a
Red
very good addition to your
Corsairs,
army. He
or
is
are
a
you going to be able to
Reeve
rotate
Captain.
out
I
that
suppose you
front
might indicate that he's
like
either
leg
maybe
armor
a
to just something
veteran
more
of the
general?
Astral Claws, maybe one of the previous captains, or maybe someone who's risen through the ranks of the Red Corsairs since. So he is somewhere thereabouts.
Is he
of Chaos
wearing
Lord level in
Eldari's
terms of
shoulder?
his,
No, that's a plate.
abilities. He is a little bit less fighty than a Chaos Lord, but he brings more to the table in terms of abilities that you can give to your unit. He has Infiltrate, which means that he's a great addition to some of those Red Corsair squads we talked about before. So he can be right up in the enemy's face early on in the game. He can also give you loads of abilities when you charge into close combat, and you've got lots of stuff across the Chaos Space Marine Codex that allows you to have things like run and charge, so they stack really nicely with those. So you can get an extra point of strength, an extra point of AP, and re-rolling charges with this guy. On
Always
those
expect
that unit, which
tactical
might be
rocks.
infiltrating right up in your enemy's face, which is a pretty tasty little combo.
Nice.
And worth saying as well, with all of the stuff that we've just talked through there, you can absolutely do this as a Red Corsairs army if you want. If you want to go all in for Huron Blackheart and go with the red and black of that force, you can. Or you can add these into any other Chaos Space Marine army.
Yeah, so they're universal. That front
Black
leg plate
Legion
has
army,
to be
and you want to sprinkle a
swappable.
little bit of Red Corsairs into it, or team them up with the Alpha Legion, you can absolutely do that.
Perfect. We are not even halfway done with the stuff for this Maelstrom section. We've talked about
The
Huron and
Eldari
Red Corsairs.
look.
In that video that we saw at the beginning, we saw
That's only
another
half the
force.
pirates we have.
Exactly. So let's go and look at Prince Iriel and his Eldritch Raiders. So a little bit of a lore dump for you if you're unaware. Prince Iriel is a renowned
hell is that
Eldari
vehicle?
hero. He is the saviour of Craftworld Ianden when it was under attack from the hive fleets of the Tyranids, and really solidified his.
Those are the
place in
standard
legend.
Corsairs.
The thing he loves is
I
to,
thought
range
the
across
Corsairs
galaxy,
team
leading
was getting
and,
rotated
at
out.
the head of this army.
Not
So
like
this
from
is
Kill
a
Team, but
box
from
set.
just general. They were going to
Everything
like
you see in here is
ball it
included in
into
I'll
something
take you
normal.
through and have a quick look at all of those things. First out of the gates are the Corsair Sky Reavers.
Yeah, so this is a really useful little unit for Corsairs. You can include these in a Corsair army or in a tiny
second
Craftworld army if you want to.
jetpack
And this is a
squad.
really flexible, fast-moving unit. You can kit them out in all sorts of different ways. They come as standard with Corsair blades and Shuriken pistols, which is a great little kind of combo to pick on little isolated enemy units, but you've also got the option to include quite a lot of different special weapons in the unit. So if you want to make them anti-infantry, you've got things like shredders and flamers. If you want to make them anti-tank, you can put fusion guns and stuff like that in the unit. And they've got a lot of movement abilities.
Yes,
They've
but
got
how
deep
many
scout,
fusion
deep
guns?
strike, and a reactive move ability.
Yeah, these guys look like
standard,
mini
which
swooping
makes them
hawks.
Very hard to pin down. So they've got a phenomenal kind of objective game.
Yeah, they really play into that sort of hit and withdraw aspect
Yes.
of the.
Oh,
Eldritch
they've
Raiders,
got.
which makes
Wait,
them famous.
are they saying they've got
Also, a
the
lovely
shoot and
callback
scoot?
to some
These are
very
scourges for
classic
regular
Raiders
Eldari.
artwork.
Uh-oh.
If you're of a certain vintage like me,
Uh-oh.
You'll recognise it, and it feels quite nice to see that sort of imagery making it into the modern Warhammer 40,000 tabletop. In a similar vein, in terms of the flexibility and the way they fight, there's another unit within this set You'll be familiar with them if you've maybe played Kill Team over the last few years. These are the Corsair Void Reavers.
Yep.
So it's the same kit returned, and they'll be in this Eldritch Raiders box. Tell us about the Void Reavers, if you would.
Yeah, so the Corsair Void Reavers are your kind of.
I miss this team. This team was fun in Kill Team.
It's a really flexible kit. You can build them as either a kind of.
The local group that I have doesn't care about the whether or not people can play it rule.
They're one of the most flexible kits in Warhammer 40,000.
So
in terms of
these can still show up.
Range of stuff you can give them. You can make them very anti-infantry or very anti-character.
I dominated a legionary team this last time I played.
Whatever you need, really. The bits in the kit are really interchangeable with the other new Corsair stuff that's on its way as well. So it was
I was
already
surprised,
a really
man.
flexible
I did not
unit,
expect
and
my
now it's even more
salvagers to take
flexible
the
in
whole
terms of
tournament.
How you can build it, and if you are a fan of kind of kit bashing stuff together, this is a dream. This box.
Yeah, absolutely. To lead these all into battle, there are two heroes within the Eldritch Raiders set. The first of which is Karseth. Karseth is a Void Dreamer. What is a Void Dreamer?
Yo, that
I
helmet,
do
though.
ask? Well, a Void Dreamer is a type of Eldar Seer, and Karseth specializes
like the
in
Sandman
sense
cover
the
art.
subtle fluctuations in the fabric of reality. So one of the gifts that Karseth has is to detect warp translations. Imagine that you come out of the warp with your fleet and you're straight into the gun sights of the Eldritch Raiders sat waiting for you. That's quite the boon for Iriel and his team. Also, Karseth specifically coordinates the efforts of the Eldritch Raiders, making sure that they're all like working in synchronicity and firing together. You can imagine them sort of speaking into the minds of the warriors and making sure that everybody's all on the same page.
Yeah, so a really useful unit in game terms as well.
I wonder if I can
this
find
is an
that for
Eldar
you
Psyker
guys.
and comes with a ranged psychic attack, like Psychic Storm style thing. But the reason that they really pop is the special rules that come with them. One of them is the ever useful ability to stop enemy units deploying within 12, so they can see the future, you can never catch them off guard sort of thing. That's great to put on your backfield objective, or to just screen out large portions of the battlefield to stop things like Corsair Terminators teleporting behind you. That's not a thing that would be good for you. The other ability that they have is if you manage to hit an enemy unit with a psychic attack, all the rest of the Corsairs that fire into that unit hit with an extra point of strength. So
Sandman.
It's a really good synergistic unit to help the rest of your Corsairs hit even harder.
Perfect. And of course, they are led by none other than Prince Iriel. Prince Iriel is the outcast Prince of Iandon, and he's returned now with his Corsair fleet to deliver his craft world from annihilation once again by leading an army into the Maelstrom. He's equipped with the Spear of Twilight, a very famous weapon. It's extremely dangerous. He's on his eye, that bionic.
Spear of Twilight.
It's powerful in its own right. And he's a devastating combat leader as well as an actual leader of warriors.
Yeah, so a really, a phenomenal miniature, right? Like, it looks really cool. It's definitely a great glow up, but it's still very recognisably the Prince Uriel that we know and love. In game terms, he makes a phenomenal either leader for a Corsair army, or you can put him into a standard Craft World force, and he has a very useful ability to redeploy some of your units before the game starts.
They say useful
to whatever unit he's joined. So
don't
just a really good all-round
really
leader.
know
And a
about
combat
that.
stat line that punches up with some of the best of the Eldar heroes. He's got
New vehicles.
Unit which is designed to go alongside the Corsair Raiders as they fight. It's pretty good in its own right. Eddie, can you talk us through it?
I absolutely can. So this is a really useful little utility unit. So first and foremost, it has a fairly respectable amount of firepower. Its firepower is geared to killing heavy infantry level stuff. So
It looks like an aircraft, but because it's so low to the ground, most likely not an aircraft.
In terms of its damage output, there's a disintegrator cannon you can see on the front of it there.
That flight base looks terrible.
One of the other things it does for your army, which is really useful, is it can make one of your infantry units have stealth. So its grenade launchers can basically like cover the one of your infantry units in.
Well, Cobalt, there's limits to the redeploy, because even if you can redeploy them and pick them up and put them in strategic reserve, if you've already hit your limit, you're not allowed to.
Nice. One of the things.
And usually at high level play, people, when they put their stuff on the field, they don't care where the enemy stuff is. They've put it where they know they need it to go.
Also makes the Viper, which I believe is actually the name that the box will live
Oh,
under.
it's the new Viper?
A classic Eldari vehicle, which has been around for 30 years or more.
I think it's longer than 30 years.
Oh, you've aged me terribly. Yeah, this is a classic light attack vehicle.
So that's what I always thought, J. Peacock, about deploying, like putting a very dangerous unit in a position where you're like, haha, you have to deal with this, and then redeploying it. But when I'm playing people locally, they still deploy regardless. They don't care, because they're just like, yeah, I get it, you put it there. I'm still in a spot where I have advantage. And then if you pick it up and put it somewhere else, I still have advantage, and it's like, okay.
Underneath,
It just
the
doesn't feel
Viper,
good.
You also have the option now to put an Eldar missile launcher on it, so that gives you the potential to make it quite a good.
I think at most I've
unit.
used
You
it
can
to
two of
put
these
blue
in a unit,
horrors
so
down
you
in
can
a
right, that's
string
to
to
Eldar
prevent
missile
people
launchers,
from
you
going
do
there, and then I
something
pick
quite
them up and
formidable.
move them somewhere else.
Or you can get it out for pretty good anti-infantry with shuriken cannons and star cannons and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so here we got a really good look at it in person.
If
on
you
the
could
desk. It is a
redeploy after the
fantastic
scouting
looking
phase,
kit.
it would be
It's got
so
that
much
classic
stronger.
silhouette you expect. If you build it the right way, the turret has some play, so you can.
I like that
maneuver it. This
Viper,
is
though.
an
That
heavy
Viper
metal
looks
painted
sick.
one, and I don't want
We're
to get
not
in
allowed to
trouble,
touch it,
so I'm not
really.
going to fiddle with it too enthusiastically. And then I guess the major difference is the sort of the positioning of the turrets and the way they work. It's a really just a fantastic sort of innovation on a very classic design. The Viper's been with us
I could
for
kind of
time.
see
Yeah,
it
I
being
mean, the
huge
current-
for
the current
1k
Viper
points.
model
If
is
you don't have a
very
lot of
basic.
units
I'm
and then
showing its age a little bit
you
around
look
the
like you're going to
edges.
go
So
one
the
way
first
and then
one's
you
some of the
switch to
detail
go
on
the
this, some of
other,
the
that's fine.
posability, the weapons,
But
and that
that's
sort of thing.
that
The
again.
engines
That only
stand
works
out,
if
some
the
of things
opponent's
like
like, well, I'm going to
jet
counter
engines,
that.
it fits really
But if you go the other way
nicely
and they're still
and
looking to
then
counter you
inside the
going
cockpits,
the way you were
details, you can
going,
paint
then
that and
technically
seal
their
the
whole
cabin
army's
with
over there
sort of
just
like
going
transparent,
that way, and then
plastic.
there's nothing.
And
Like it's
you've
just
got
weird.
options for the crew.
This is as a Thousand Suns player where there's a detachment I can take where I can redeploy 6 units in total.
Helmets on the Viper, but you can mix and
Those flight stands do not look good.
really exciting. Where do you learn about all of these exciting Corsairs, both the Red Corsairs and the Eldritch Raiders? Well, of course, we need a book for that. And here we go. This is the succinctly named Warhammer 40,000, the Maelstrom, Lair of the Tyrant, into the Nightmare Realm. If you are familiar with
Wait a
Titus,
second.
which
Oh,
just
wait.
released, I think.
This is just the
this is a
actual
very
book. I thought this
similar
was
idea.
like...
So it's 4 books contained in a slipcase that
Wait.
detail all of the events that we've talked about and the characters and things, and some brilliant new and exciting ways to play Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah, so
Aren't
there's
we
quite a
getting
lot to go
500
through here,
worlds as
just
the
like
Crusade, and
500
now
worlds
this is
book we've just seen
popping?
released. There's loads of good stuff in here. Lair of the Tyrant is your lore book, so this dives into the history and environment.
Or is this just fluff? This is just fluff, isn't
within
it?
the Maelstrom in a level of detail that we've never seen before. We find out about the key planets within that region, the bits that Huron is in control of, the various different battles that are ongoing. It's definitely not a unified empire, right? There are lots of factions all playing for their part and trying to carve out their little pirate empires within the Maelstrom. It also tells you all about the Red Corsairs and particularly Huron's bodyguard and his retinue that follows him round, and Prince Uriel and his Corsairs as they battle against the Red Corsairs for dominance.
Yeah, each of these books does a slightly different thing. For example, Crucible of Champions is quite exciting because it is encourages you to sort of create your own hero, stamp your own identity on them, which is a thing I love to do whenever I'm playing a game of Warhammer 40,000. I imagine the commander of my army is me, so that's very exciting. And obviously,
I think you'd make a great pirate.
cooler than me because he's a Dark Angels company master normally. But you can sort of.
I like that the
get war gear
artwork
and
for
different special rules
Huron
and all of that
is
stuff
so
to
much
make,
cooler
really
with the
exciting
head
and unique
than the
characters,
actual
and then
Huron
use them in your
model.
games, which is great.
Like that looks
Lair
definitively
of the
like
detachments, as you might
gruesome and
guess,
grim
has
and
some
angry,
detachments
whereas
in.
the other one just looks
so one
so
of the things
goofy.
That's worth saying about
So
this book
goofy.
is much like will happen with the 500 Worlds Titus book. All of the rules that are for match play will also be made available online and in the Warhammer 40,000 app, but you can also find them in print in Lair of the Tyrant, and there's some new detachments for Chaos Space Marines, as you'd imagine, and for Eldari. So one of those detachments allows you, for example, to make a very heavily Corsair-themed Eldari force.
Perfect. Raid and Ruin lets you put together campaigns that involve things like ship-to-ship actions and stuff, so really exciting. Right, so this is not the only stuff that we've got to talk about with regards to the Maelstrom. We also have some new battalions. There's 2 of these. The first one is the Drukari battalion, and is packed full
Ooh,
of, to be honest,
I like.
raiders who are looking
They love
to
piracy.
Yep.
They were kind of the original Eldar pirates, the Drukari here, and this is a very heavily witch-themed box.
Love
So
me
if
some
you're looking to
green
start a
goblin
Drukari
boards.
army and you've got an eye on the gladiatorial pits of Comora, this is a great place to start.
It includes a succubus, 2 venoms, 3 reavers, 5 hellions, and 10 witches. So loads of that witch-themed stuff that you were referring to before, and a really good bedrock for a new Drukari army, or just the reinforcements if you're already deep into that collection. There's another one. This is the Leagues of Votan battalion, and that includes the Memnir strategist and 6 Ironkin Steeljacks for them to control and get the best out of. and then 3 Hernkin Pioneers to sort of range ahead of the army and scout ahead. And again,
These are just
ideal for
battalions. They
exploring
aren't
the
combat
Maelstrom and,
patrols. I guess these are just
altering
part of the
existing
general
leads of
story
both
for the
forces.
fluff.
And kind of a nod as well that a lot of the lore in this Maelstrom book is relevant to a big chunk of Warhammer 40,000. Like
Yeah,
there are
absolutely.
loads of people within the Maelstrom all trying to carve out little mini empires. There's Orc freebooters and Drukhari and Leagues of Votan
Rock
and all
and
sorts of stuff.
Stone.
And there's opportunities in there. It's like it's sort of untested.
For those with the
space.
will to claim it.
Exactly
Yeah.
so. Fantastic. So we have been keeping an eye on some questions, and I've got some that I will just quickly fire out here. So
Did somebody ask what's up with
Prime Mod
Huron's
Hale,
face?
asks, will Huron and his mates be available separately later, or will we be condemned to a character box?
Huron is in the character box in the same way that Titus is. So
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
2 big boxes coming out initially for the Red Corsairs. One of them is the Red Corsairs Army, which is the Reeve captain leading a force of Red Corsairs, and the other one is Huron and his bodyguard. Everything in the big battalion box will be available separately, but I think for the moment
Huron
Huron's
is
staying
so
with
goofy.
his retinue.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one is, can Huron's retinue join another unit?
I don't.
I think it's a unit in its
think
own
so.
right and
It's a great
operates
question.
independently.
His
So,
unit looks
that
like,
was a good question.
at least in
I
the
don't
pictures,
think
you
so.
split them up and put them in other
Perfect.
places.
And then, a question, I think, regarding the Viper from Jocked 4020 is the turret interchangeable? I think if you built it carefully, you might be able to interchange the weapons, but I think once you've built the turret, that's your lot. So
I haven't built it, so I don't know for sure. You could
Perfect.
certainly have a go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, to those who have seen the
keep your questions
Goonies,
coming
this
in. We'll try and
screams
answer some
Rocky
as we
Road,
go
right?
through. One last one from Afexipe. If I've said your name wrong, I apologise. And your question is, which factions can be played in the Maelstrom campaign? Absolutely loads of them. There's an enormous list which I won't go through, but it includes things like Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Space Wolves, Orcs, Freeboots would be great in there. Loads of things. The idea is that you can get involved and have good fun. So if you want to explore the Maelstrom and this terribly violent, chaotic environment, this would be a really good opportunity for you
I'm
to do
quite sure that we will list the factions that you can use on Warhammer Community.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can decide for yourself. I think it's almost everything in Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah, I would be surprised if we've left somebody out, to be honest. Perfect. Thank you very much. We should press on. So,
There is a little bit more Warhammer 40,000 later on as well.
yeah, that's fair to say. We are about to go to the Mortal Realms, but there's more Warhammer 40,000 later. But let's go to the Mortal Realms now.
Baby Roof?
My lord, yes.
Oh,
You
dip.
can't just solve
I'm gonna turn this down a little bit.
problems by
What up, Taco Man? You missed the Red Corsairs and some Aldari stuff, which has all been pretty cool, actually. Bone people. Yo, Bone Sassins? We'll go back at the end, but apparently it's like an hour and something minutes of a reveal show, but we'll scroll back through.
The armies of the Bone Tithe received some much desired reinforcements with this huge glut of models for the Ossiarch Bone Reapers. Eddie, let's talk about what we saw, I guess.
Yeah, so this is a fairly.
I have a
large
very
lot of
large
new
collection
miniatures for the
of
Ossiarch
Disciples
Bone
of
Reapers. A lot
Tzeentch.
these units fill a
No
really
one
nice
local to
niche
me
in the
plays
army that we've
AOS
been looking
like
forward to
this.
for a long
There's
time.
like one
So we
other
started
guy.
with Mortex Triaxes. We saw a
Yeah,
Ossiarch
Red Corsairs
Reaper
are getting
quite
leadership
a while
units.
back,
There's
actually, in
some
Warhammer
regular
Fantasy
units as
format.
well.
Kingdom's Hunter.
Some specific ones, and then there's gonna be a box set
Way
that
back
comes with
then,
like
people were
shoulder pads.
speculating, Of course, Nagash didn't make just one bow, right? That would be a really strange thing to have done. He did, in fact, make loads of bows, and he's given it to his
Loads of
collective,
bones.
And now you can have entire units of bowmen in your Ossiarch Bone Reapers army, and that does some really fun stuff for you in terms of how you might approach building an army. You can now make a very shooty death army, which has never really been an option before. You can imagine loads of these backed
If
up
they
by,
reveal a new
Mortar crawlers and
Tzeentch
things,
demon
you know,
unit
absolutely
over the
dominate
course of this
They've
AOS reveal,
got some really tasty
I might go
rules
quiet
in-game.
for a
They've got,
while.
very respectable damage output,
There's a
which
good
you
chance
can
I'm
use at
dead.
Point of rend in there, and one of the things to watch on them is those little braziers that follow the unit around.
Yeah, these are my favourite guys in the kit, really. I like the little familiars and stuff. And these are Balefire Braziers you see in the bottom left of your screen right now. They're essentially tokens. What happens is if you fire the whole unit at one enemy, once you're done, you place one of these Balefire Braziers on that unit. and that has a few effects. The most significant, from my point of view, is that
yeah. So you're getting Huron, you're getting his retin-A,
heal,
you're getting some cool
wounds or
stuff.
Get models back, and so instead you take that token off. And I rely, as my Stormcast Eternal player, on like repairing damage to my unit.
I imagine they'll do some detachments. Dude, I heard the detachments out of the 500 World books are absolutely insane.
Yeah, the models are very cool as well. I like the kind of one eye look that they've got as well. So obviously Nagash forges.
Like a bonus eye in their forehead.
Yeah, well, but it's maybe not quite where you'd expect it to be. Maybe it's like right at the top of where you'd hold an arrow. I don't know if that makes you better at shooting an arrow.
Do they even see through eyes
I don't know.
anymore?
Who knows, right? So, but anyway, they're quite good at shooting. You'll definitely see some in Arsiarch armies, and you can do some very fun stuff with your.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up is another infantry unit for the army. These are the Mortis Reapers. They are dread assassins from the realm of death, and they use their Reaper's blades to butcher the enemy, specifically enemy heroes.
Yes, so this is a very useful unit for taking on enemy heroes and kind of those little isolated useful units like wizards and priests and stuff like that. They've got two things that help them out with that. They've got anti-hero on all of their weapons. They also have the ability
Anti-hero.
to teleport through pieces of terrain.
My
So
favorite
you can
kind
move
of writing
toward the
trope.
terrain feature, you can pick the unit up and you can redeploy it on the other side of that terrain feature. So you can catch out enemies that are trying to hide behind cover.
Well, it's a
and things
favourite
like that.
tactic, right? You know,
Yeah.
parked behind a piece of terrain and think you're safe, and these guys burst out the other side. That's quite nasty. And fantastic in terms of imagery. This is a very different look and feel to what we expect from the Arsiarch Bone Reapers, who are normally quite regimented. And
The idea for the Space Marine one was the dropship one. Like, a lot of people are talking about it. Probably won't be good in practice, like you're saying, but the idea of, like, deep striking a Land Raider.
They are all about rules, aren't they?
But their boss makes the calls. So
That's
right.
true. That's true. He's the boss.
So, to lead these new infantry models into combat, we have a new hero. This is a Liege Mortek, a good, solid battle line.
I don't think you'd be hard-pressed to try to convince people, Taco Man, that AOS has some of the best-looking models out of all the formats of Games Workshop.
Phalanxes. He has a particularly cool little ability.
It's just
which
not
is
enough people
that,
play it. It's so
if
weird.
he is in combat with an enemy unit and you activate him to fight, another unit nearby can fight or shoot into the same combat, and they get +1 to their hit rolls if they do. That stacks really.
I know Paul is bad at stuff,
unit.
is thinking of doing the that detachment, the drop pod detachment, specifically for his Centurions.
Quite a kind of thematic look. He also stacks really nicely with your.
He's going to try to get one last hoorah of Centurions before maybe they get rotated out in 11th.
Yeah, if you're going for Mortek Guard and Triaxes and Crawlers, you want a couple of these to keep everything operating at maximum efficiency. I think that +1 bonus on those to hit rolls is really
I've got an
good.
Archeon behind me. The one on the dragon, so
we
good
also
looking.
saw the Liege Cavalos on War Chariot. I feel like this is like
Look at that thing.
something that Nagash dreamed and recalled from a world that was.
I hate
Like,
painting
ancient
these things
Hekar,
because you have to
you
keep
know,
them
going
separate
back
if you want it to be
here.
painted well.
We see a
Gotta glue them all together at the end.
The mortal realms. Amazing.
Yeah, so the Arsiarchs are very much Nagash's idea of an ideal army. So obviously twisted through.
I don't know if
the,
they'd make new
the filter
Centurions.
of
I think their
death.
goal is to just make
But these are
Primaris
very
Marines
powerful
covered in
units the game.
guns,
There's
right?
two versions of this kit. There's one that you can make into.
Because that's the
hero
thing.
chariot,
Centurions
there's
are
also
firstborn,
a
right?
standard
That's
chariot.
my
The
understanding
hero
of it.
chariot is a really, really durable unit. They both are, but the hero one has 12 wounds,
That's a lot of
3
killing.
up save and a ward save. So even
The
without
assumption is they're
being
going to drop them
fast and
completely,
having
so you have
lots
to
of
rely
abilities,
more on
he's
like
just
your
really hard
Hellblasters
to
and
kill
stuff.
get rid of. But he stacks really nicely if you send him in alongside some chariots, because he's got some abilities that let them kind of grind into the enemy units even after they've charged in and done all their kind of damage and impact hits and stuff. You can keep just doing stacks and stacks and stacks of mortal wounds into enemy units.
Yeah, the idea here, I think.
Could you imagine a Primaris Centurion? It'd be bigger than an Obliterator.
Legions to hold the enemy on
It'd just be a Dreadnought, like a slightly smaller Dreadnought. That would be the introduction of
I think all the
Hellbrutes
stuff
to
coming out
Space
for
Marines.
Arsiarchs just gives them loads of new options.
Options, yeah,
Because I think
totally.
there's been a couple of ways to play Arsiarchs for a little while now, but now you've got opened up a whole swathe of new things, right? So you could imagine armies that leaned really heavily into chariots and had Death Riders and stuff accompanying them.
Yeah.
You can imagine armies that lean really heavily into shooting. A combined arms list now looks really tasty. So there's loads of stuff that just opens up a new toolbox of stuff for Arsiarch armies.
Yeah, absolutely. What if you want to do something completely different? Well, we're releasing the Null Myriad Phalanx.
Look at
This is
that.
the personal army of Arkan the Black.
Those big winged ones in the
Army
back,
renowned. So if
I
you wanna
used 2 of
take
them
a
as Demon
Arsiarch
Princes in my
bonus
Thousand
with a
Sons
slightly
army.
different feel. Essentially, you don't have access to all of the units you would normally do, but you get some
So
distinct
perfectly
bonuses.
sized for it.
Essentially, Arkan and the wizards that accompany him get bonuses to make their spellcasting more effective and even better, and the whole army gets some arcane protection to sort of reduce the incoming magic that would come your way.
Oh, awesome.
It's super
Another
dramatic.
list that
Dark Hammer's
completely
like one of the
counters
top
my
wizards of
list.
death, right?
Yeah, he's
Yes.
also been part of Warhammer for
A very
I
long
think
time.
40 plus years at this point.
Goodness
So, but if you like magic and you like Ossiarchs and you want to just go all in for magic, this is one of the ways that you can do it. This is a great little box set to start off. You can also just use this as the start of any Ossiarch army as
Absolutely.
well. It's a perfectly good start to that too. There's another box set on
There
their
is,
way as well.
So here we have the Heralds of the Bone Tithe.
Oh, dip.
Which is a regiment of renown for them.
Yeah, so effectively, this means that you can put some of your Ossiarch units into any other death force. So if you have something like a Soulblight Gravelord's army or a Nighthaunt army.
Oh, Max,
or a
Aaron's
Flesh of the
talking
Lord's army,
about
you can
buying
send some of
Necron.
Nagash's tax collectors along with your force, so that when the battle has finished, they can go around.
He
the
was
battlefield
looking
and gather up
at-
the bones
where's
of
the
fallen.
list?
There's some really nice little abilities in this unit. He's got a spell that means that if you cast it onto an enemy unit, they have to use
Obeisance
a command
Phalanx,
point if they want to fight,
which is mostly Lich Guard.
Really nasty.
it's really, really good. You've got to get it cast. You've got to get it cast. Your opponent will know you're trying to do it. But there is a potentially game-winning little move in there. If you can stop an enemy unit from fighting because they've run out of command points, or make them use a valuable command point when they don't want to,
Just to do something they would
just to
normally
do
do for
something
free,
they
right?
normally do. That's anything that you can.
Oh, you're trying to
force
put ghosts on your
opponent to
Chaos
use
Knights?
yourself, they don't
The
want to.
ghost models on Chaos Knights do look good.
Right?
Yes.
I actually was trying really hard to figure out where I could put ghost models on my Raptors for my kill team, but they make your bases so huge.
Death and taxes in this box is both of them.
Regiments of Renown is
This is
a
the
unit
Death
you
Battle
can
Tome
put
of
into
both
any
of them.
other
It
army
contains
that's
everything you
in
expect from
your
anything about
alignment.
these
So
sort of
that
brilliant
could
war
technically be
armies,
run
how
in
they
like
are and how they
the
fight,
other death
as well as all of
detachments.
the rules for everything that we've talked about. They've got a really interesting new rule.
Sometimes you get cool
Army,
stuff with them. The
Legends
Disciples of Zinch
very
regiment
briefly, but there's
allows
like a
other
new
armies to
little,
take the Disciples of
widget
Zinch
attaching a profile
spells.
circle that you get. And the heroes essentially get relentless discipline points, which they can spend. So the Liege Mortek, this little guy here, gets 5, Nagash gets 10, and they can spend those throughout the game to gain some extra.
Which arguably aren't good,
Really
but
exciting. I've not collected any
I do
myself,
like the
but
idea
as
of that
I was
swirling
diving into
bird
this
head
preview,
one-tapping a
quite some
Nagash.
possibilities and the weird combos and things you can do. It's very exciting.
Yeah, so you've got things that basically help you.
Oh, yeah, the destruction one with the bull.
Make you better at fighting or slightly more durable and things like that. And one of the things you want to do when you put your army together is go, how many heroes do I want so that I've got the right amount?
Obeisance
of
isn't really
tools
rushdown
and
though.
points to
There's like
spend on
one
my
squad
units.
that's mobile, and then the
it
rest of them
definitely
just kind
rewards
of
them
are
on a
impossible to
systematic
kill.
and kind of strategic approach to putting an army together.
If you want to get a sense of the scale of things, we've
I'm
got
trying to
here, I'll put
teach
the,
Aaron about the tendril tactic that Necrons have.
I'll
You're
also
basically
put
going to
the
get like 4 guys in combat, kill them, and then they just come back.
He's already a fairly big Ossiarch bone mover.
He's
you know,
taller than a Stormcast. so-
Exactly, and then the chariot is just this wonderful piece here. Just so
Yeah,
cool.
but both of these have got quite a lot of options and bits on them as well. So if you build either of these characters, you've got some spare bits.
Like
and
that
you
edge
can
highlighting on the
customize a
black
little bit,
armor.
choose
Looks
whether you
good.
want to go with a spear or a sword or which of the various headdresses and things.
And I think you could probably do some quite interesting things in terms of converting across these two models as
Sure
well
we
if you
could,
wanted
yeah.
multiples of either. As
I mean,
well.
that's what Nagash is doing, really. He's just
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
all the bones
just
in a big
kit
pile and
bashing,
building his
yeah.
own thing, right? You too could be a Lord of Death.
Perfect. Right, that is not it for the Mortal Realms, however. We have
Please be
another
Disciples.
battle tome to show you that is coming out.
It
fairly
won't be,
soon.
but please be.
This is the Chaos Battle Tome of Disciples of Zinch. And as you might expect, it contains everything you need to know about the followers of the Changer of Ways and all of his armies.
Do we get anything else? Or is
And
this it?
it's
Is it
not
just a book?
that's coming out. We are also accompanying it with a new miniature, which is the Fate Master. Eddie, what can
what
you
is-
tell us about this?
Yeah, so Fate Master is the general of the mortal armies of Zinch. Of course,
Thigh highs, no pants. What are we doing?
Everybody who follows Zinch is in some way or shape or form a wizard. But primarily, they are leading things like your Kyric Acolytes and things like that into battle.
The
because
Kyric
this is
Acolytes that no one
Zinch in
uses 'cause
general,
they're
they don't really
garbage?
play fair,
Is that what we're
so
talking
their
about?
tricks and things that they bring to
The ones with the
battlefield are
bonus of
less
bringing
about
more
winning
back?
in a straight fight and more
But
about
if they're in
seeing
melee,
your
they can't be brought back
opponents.
anyway?
You can use some of their abilities to move your own units around the battlefield. When the enemy comes within range to try and charge your units, all of a sudden they're not there anymore.
Oh,
they're
thank
actually on
God.
flank, and you
That's-
can
that was their
engage
biggest
them in
issue.
dangerous combats. So they are a great little unit. They are still a Chaos Lord, and they.
And then you're
build
showing them
combat
off with all the
very,
demons 'cause demons equal
effectively,
better?
But it's the tricks and the strategic positioning stuff they bring to your army that makes them really pop in your games.
Yeah,
This guy looks more
absolutely.
Slaanesh than
There's a
Zinch. Like, let's be
terrain
real.
piece for these, which is just fantastic. This is the thing I'm most excited about for the Disciples of Zinch. These are the Argent Shards. just fantastic embodiment of like the weirdness of Tzeentch, right? When you look at these and sort of the magic swirling.
Max, it's
around
because
them.
you're not playing them right. We're trying to help
The
you.
story being told by this model, which is born
They
out
could
by
be
the
really
rules and the
good.
lore. Essentially, you see the one on the left on the screen sort of being torn apart. These drift around the battlefield. They're really useful. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But if one is destroyed,
I mean, that's a stretch,
you don't get them
Francois,
both.
but
The other one will
whatever.
split
Those look cool
and
as
make a
hell.
new one. And so that you see it splitting apart. That's really part of its own story. It's just great.
Yeah, so they've got two abilities, effectively. One of them is that if one of them is on the battlefield, you can immediately make another one in your hero phase.
Please tell me I can use
if
Argent
you've got them on
Shards
the
in
battlefield,
40k.
You can reposition them as well.
Oh,
The
dude, those
reason
look
you
cool
want
as
to
hell.
reposition them is that your wizards can use them to channel their magic through. So if you're close to one of these and you're a Tzeentchian
Oh,
wizard,
it's the...
you've probably got loads of
These
Tzeentchian
are an
wizards,
endless
you
spell in the form of a regular unit. There's like a mirror endless
can
spell that
cast your
does
spells
exactly
further
what
than
they're
you otherwise
saying.
could. And if you're playing against them, you can't get rid of them unless you kill both of them at the same time. We've got them on the table here, so you get a sense of the scale. So again, this is a fairly large infantry model. That's like larger than the Stormcast Eternal there. So they're fairly big pieces of terrain.
Holy
and they
shit.
Go back to that kind of classic Tzeentchian idea of the Silver Towers of Tzeentch, which has been part of their lore for kind of
that
time
looks so
immemorial.
cool.
This is a little nod to that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can
See, you'd want to like put one of these on like the Magnus base.
any Tzeentch army.
Oh yeah, we were
Conversions.
talking before about if you've got something like 1,000 Suns army
Yeah.
and you're building some scenery or something, you can imagine having these mixed in amongst them to make your battlefield look as Tzeentchian as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is not it in terms of battle tomes forthcoming for the More Realms. There is another one
Three battle
almost
tomes.
equally magical as
Goodness.
well. These are, of course, the Order Battle Tome for the Lumineth Realm
Okay.
Lords.
I know there's
Again,
one person locally who's
everything
building a
is
ton of
based on
Lumineth,
the
but has
Realm
said
Tome,
nothing
updated,
about wanting to
with,
play.
fantastic new lore.
He's just building
you
them.
will need to,
He
play
keeps
with
posting pictures of like whole regiments that he's building, and it's
Army
like,
rules have had a shake-up, which is quite
I don't think
exciting.
I've seen this
You know,
person
we're
play a
talking to the team
game.
from the Warhammer Studio all about
He's
that.
built like 4 armies and has
we
played no
don't have
games.
time to go into all of those details here today.
I don't even think he's
Something
painted
we'll
any
cover
of
as
it.
we get closer on warhammercommunity.com. There's also a new model for them. The Lumineth Realm Lords have been really well served with battlefield wizards, but maybe not as many sort of frontline fighting heroes. So this is a Venari Lord Regent.
Yeah, so the Lord Regent effectively leads your infantry phalanxes into battle. They are a very competent fighter. They're an elven lord, so they've got a very respectable combat stat line. But the real thing they bring to the battle are 2 special rules in terms of your game. One of them means that nearby Lumineth units, when they rally, because they are a shining example to their people, you get to roll extra dice into that, which is really useful if you're trying to bring back your models, especially when they cost so many points for Lumineth. So every elf that joins your force is very worthwhile. The other thing they do, if you put them alongside a unit of your wardens, which are your big kind of spear phalanx, they can basically have the phalanx advance.
Max, I'm gonna warn you though.
A whole bunch of
You're going
so
World
your
Eaters because you're
big,
like,
scary
it might be
block
better
spearmen
than
becomes
Black
scary.
Templar for running
Yeah,
at
that's
people.
So you're
If you
aiming
do a lot
to
of the
do
same
more
things you're
wounds
doing
when
with
they
your Black
fight,
Templar,
just
you're going to run
passively
into
by
the
existing
exact same
and pushing forward
problem.
into the enemy force.
If you're looking to try to
You can see
make
on
it
the
to
screen
people,
now
you
that
probably
the
should have
kit
played
has
Emperor's
some
Children,
variants
because at the
built
very
in
least we
ways that
constantly
you
have
can
the ability
maybe
to
get some spells.
advance and
And we've
charge.
got them actually on the desk in front of us.
But like, if you
Have a
don't
look.
get the good stuff going
the thing that I
for
like about
World
the
Eaters,
sort of the difference in
like,
is
and you
you
just
can
throw
see
them
some
somewhere
kind
where
of
they're
aura
seen
on
by
it,
stuff,
and
they'll
then
still
you've
die.
got this sort of double banner.
They're still not
That banner
easy.
is definitely in this season, isn't it?
Oh, I tell you what. Yeah, banners are back, it seems. Banners back. That's good. So there we go. Again, just a great hero for your.
I do agree that melee armies are a bit harder to understand and play than
chat,
shooty
Do my best.
for like
actually, the first
really
question
getting them
really,
down,
hits
but
me in my heart. It says from Prime Chatmandu. It says
we got to
"Do you
work
ever
on
get
some
nervous when you're
stuff.
touching every moment
Get some
miniatures?" Let me
games in.
tell
I
you,
think Jack's gonna try to
terrified
start
every time I touch
playing
every moment
When
miniatures.
they
randomly
hand
at the
them over, there's a
Warhammer
scowl.
store
Yeah, well,
So we're not really allowed.
next
Each of
month.
these represents like dozens, if not hundreds, of hours of work, right, by the best painters in the world, and they need to be treated that way. The first ever battle report I played years and years ago, I dropped a hell cannon. And
You're changing it up by going to like the different
next
color
question
scheme
is,
of Black Templar. Like that's what makes it funny for me.
And it's talking about the Liege Mortec.
I love charging in melee, but I want to mix it up. I'm gonna go charging in melee.
I think you mean master
Yes.
executions, and I think you need to do quite a lot of conversion work to do that. But that said, doing kit bashing is half the fun of this hobby, right? I'm looking at all those red corsairs, just imagining stealing the heads for my armies. So, yeah, maybe. And then, always good for a fun question is from Fossil Fracas: if the new Chariot and the Sunstealer Wheeler got into a race, who would die first?
Ooh,
Well, I would argue that the Ossot Bone Reaper is already dead.
I think the Sunstealer Wheeler is faster, probably, but
Sunstealer Wheeler?
Probably get bored about halfway through the race and
He's
stuff.
never going to outlast the dead, is he?
No, probably not.
Perfect. Look, that was all a bit of fun. Thank you for keeping your questions coming in. we're going to go now from the mortal realms to a very unusual place, which is the gridiron, as we keep the theme
dip.
of elves, and we go to Blood Bowl.
To all the Blood Bowl fans.
Time for us to talk a little bit about the latest Blood Bowl team to approach the gridiron. These are the Calidor Dragons, and I got some things to say. This is a classic Blood Bowl team which has been like around for a very long time, and now it is redone and updated in plastic for the modern era of Season 3 of Blood Bowl.
That's what it is. The new Zinch leader looks like he's from Blood Bowl.
This might be the last of the classic teams that we're waiting to see.
Could be right. Could be right.
Anyway, if you know the Calidor Dragons, you might know what to expect, but they have 4 positionals, and each of them fills a very specific role within the Blood Bowl game. So the first up is the Dragon Princes. So they are essentially the show stealers of the gridiron for the Calidor Dragons. Incredibly skilled players. They've got a fantastic stat line. They have great rules as well. So in addition to block, which you'd expect, because these guys kind of fill the role of a blitzer, but they also have steady footing, 6+, and you don't get knocked down. So you can use that against any of the circumstances which might come up.
If you can find a group that plays Blood Bowl, it's supposedly really good. Crucifix plays with a group.
Means they can never give the ball away, no matter
I know
so the trick with this is
one of the
to
channels
burst
I
through the
follow
enemy,
occasionally
pitch,
puts on
get
like
down
a
the
season
field,
of it.
and then get the ball to this guy, so he doesn't have to give it away. He can just go and score a touchdown instead. Next up, we have the White Lions. The High Elf team is a little bit different to some in that it doesn't really have a catcher archetype. Instead, you've got the White Lions, which are another blitzer almost. They don't have block, but they do have wrestle, which is a very good skill to make sure that you don't get stuck with a turnover if a tackle goes weird and you both get knocked down.
If you're both lying down.
Oh, lying down, my word. The claw is not just symbolic. They have the claw's special rule.
Claw.
And what that means is that they never need more than an 8+ to bust the armor when you're making the armor roll, having successfully hit somebody. That's really useful. The third of the sort of skilled positionals are the Phoenix Warriors.
I think someone from our community said they were getting into a Blood Bowl league.
Throwers on the Blood Bowl pitch, like of any team. Fantastic stat line.
It's a casual league. They don't do timers unless someone's genuinely stalling. Oh no, he was going to a tournament.
Also,
that's
they
right.
have Cloudburst, which is so good. Essentially, Cloudburst.
Still
gives
slightly
you a real
casual tournament.
advantage in that when you lob that ball, the enemy can't make intercept rolls against you. So imagine your Dragon Prince has burst through. He's far down the field. You just one nice clean lob shot all the way down the pitch, and nobody can catch it instead. It's great.
What I love about all of these miniatures is that they look like the Blood Bowl incarnations of the classic
Absolutely so,
old
right?
world units. So like the Phoenix Guard, the White Lions, the Dragon Princes. They just look exactly.
They look like they're designed
Yeah,
for
exactly.
if you punch
So
that
there's lots
front
of,
silver
cards
ring on
and,
their helmet, you
files
knock
on
all their
display,
teeth
but
out.
otherwise it is just pure Blood Bowl fun. Right, this is the 4th position. They're the High Elf linemen. In some ways, the linemen are a bit like
Yeah,
boring part of
with
Blood
any
Bowl
of
teams, but
these
High Elf linemen are
formats,
really
with any
good.
of these
It's
systems,
not
always
too
look into
around the
what you have
bush. They've
local.
got great stat
And if you
lines,
don't have a
they've got
local
decent
group that
armor,
want to play it,
they've got
maybe
the
ask
skills to
around
keep
for
up,
interest to see if
but
people
they're
would be willing to buy it if they knew
reliable.
like
The
10 other
downside
people
is
were getting into it.
65,000, I think it is.
I think that's what happened with Underworlds with us.
Massive team. You know, I started my Blood Bowl time
It's
playing
definitely
with
an
halflings.
elite finesse team.
Yeah,
isn't it?
and so you've got to get everything like acting in the way it's supposed to, and I guess you need.
Well, Max, do you have
maybe making
what the
tackles
hell
or
were they
throws or
called?
catches
It's
themselves.
the Underworlds team that
The
has
kit
those two
also
big
contains
brutes
quite a
from the
lot to like
Corn
it.
Legion. Those could also
also
be good
contains
chaos
the
spawn if you have
balls,
them.
The turn and reroll markers and everything that you would expect for you to mark in play. And there'll be a Spike journal that comes out alongside all of this when it releases, which is full of all of the stories and the lore behind it and information about different high.
It's not about not believing you. It's about adding yet another form of rules to my repertoire of what I play actively.
Imagery of the high elves. I think one of the things that I really like is that bleeds into.
Like I do kill team, I do spearhead stuff, I do AOS, I do 40k. Now we're getting Curse City, which we got to pick back up, and we got frickin' Blackstone.
Lets them go in and bust open. I don't know, chaos.
Not only that, but I play 40k. I play like 3 different
really,
factions.
Really great. Very exciting to see these finally.
It's too many
reach the
rules, man.
gridiron.
It's too many rules.
And there we go. That is your Blood Bowl section. Pretty exciting. Coming to a pitch near you. Next up, he says, we have a little bit of an animation clip to show some people.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Warhammer Plus.
Next up, we have a new clip from Penitence, which is the new Warhammer 40,000 animation on its way for Warhammer Plus very soon. Here are the first 2 minutes of that show.
Mission 4 has been...
No, I know, but if you have access to the underworlds, guys, you could probably do some cool stuff. Baby Angel!
A candle flickering in darkness. Our mission is of sacred importance. The enshrinement of our fallen Canoness Rexilla. She will be a beacon, a rising call to the faithful.
Is it an orc skull?
She will mark
It looks a little different.
shrine world. The Emperor's flock will come, and with them, new hope. The foulness of the orcs shall be driven from this place. We shall risk everything for this. We will not fail, for to do less would be to fall short of what our Emperor demands. By fire and faith, we...
Orcs, 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 orcs.
His test begins.
Eddie, that was awesome. What can you tell us about Penitent?
Yes, this is a new animation on its way for Warhammer Plus. This is an Adeptus Sororitas animation featuring the Order of the Sacred
Have we
Rose.
spoken to you about our Lord and Savior Wog?
They are on a sacred mission to found a new shrine world. They have a sacred relic, and they have to get it to the shrine world. Obviously, the mission doesn't quite go to plan, as you saw there. Their ship is intercepted by some orcs and downed, and then they have to trudge across this wasteland to get their relic to where it needs to go. The orcs in this are snakebite orcs, which is pretty cool. We haven't really seen snakebite orcs in animation before. Snakebites, of course, famous for bringing along gribbly squiggly beasts with them, and I can confirm there is a squig in this animation.
Yay,
So we both
squigs!
get both a cyber cherub and a squig in Penitent.
Absolutely spoiled, yeah.
Living the dream. So when does it arrive?
So this is on its way in February. The first episode, it will be a 3-part animation with the first one landing in February, so not very long to wait at all.
Fantastic. So if you are not familiar with Warhammer TV, it's available through your Warhammer Plus subscription, and it gives you access to loads of animations and sort of shows that are made by the team in-house, gaming and lore and all that sort of thing. So if you want to watch this as it comes out, make sure you get yourself a subscription and join in. It's going to be great.
Exactly that.
Nice one. Right. So there were some questions in the Blood Bowl section that I got hold of late, and my favourite question was, Custodians, when? Well, I'd like to tell you when. We're going to go to all the way back to the
30K.
Age of Darkness.
Yeah, so they are 30K. I mean, you could probably use them. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, what? Wait, are these plastic? Is the tank plastic finally?
So excited by everything that we just saw there. We have the forces of the Legio Custodians for the Horus Heresy. Everything in that video we're going to talk about.
Chat, in case you don't know, that
What you
tank
see on
weighs
the
a
screen
ton.
right now.
So this is a box, isn't it, Adam?
Yeah,
It's a brand new box.
This is the Legio Custodians battle group, and this is coming out as part of the launch. Everything in this is a new plastic miniature.
Oh,
and
plastic,
just
let's go.
You've got 2 sodalities of Custodians, you've got a Dreadnought, a Shield Captain, and a Grav Tank. Let's talk about those in detail. These, of course, are the Custodian Guard sodality. Eddie?
This is a Custodian Guard Sodality. They are the archetypal image of a Custodian. They are towering Guardians, each one with a Guardian spear, able to chop the enemy up in close combat and blast them apart at range. They are a brand new plastic kit.
Well, fortunately for you, Taco, if you like the Stodes and want to get into Horus Heresy, they also just work for 40K. Those tanks are in 40. Well, one of them's in 40K. Well, the Dread's also in 40K.
Yeah, absolutely. They haven't dropped the ball yet.
So,
the kit is,
this is it if you want both.
plastic. There's some options in there. You've got
No Sisters,
high
though.
helm,
Sisters of Silence
high-tuned helmets that you can see
fans
here.
just in
There's some bare
shambles
heads
right
in the
now.
kits that you can build your models, whether they're willing to risk getting shot in the face or not. That's your choice. And then there's option for the Vexilla in there, so you can carry proud standard of imperial rule.
Yeah,
on
you've
the
also got
battlefield.
all the misericordia.
The Calidus tank,
Yeah.
or whatever, the hover
Standing
tank, is
daggers
gonna,
that
it has to
They're
stay
just
crossed. Like, that
dripping
is their
in all the
anti-tank. They don't
power
really
and
have too many
power
other better
from the
options.
Emperor's most elite warriors.
And yeah, these are going to be bought up by 40k. If you don't think they're going to be bought up by 40k players, you're lying, because these look really good in detail by comparison to the current models. These are going to be bought by 40k players till the end of time.
Legio Custodes, right? These like serried ranks of sort of spear-wielding, golden armored warriors. I love it. They're not the only sodality in the Custodes Battle Group box set, though. You also have the Sentinel Guard, who are essentially.
I always
the same,
consider that GW
kind of
can be
unit,
stupid,
these are
Cobalt,
equipped with
but
Presidium shields
I think
and,
only one of...
Presidium
Are
wheels.
all of these
So
tanks
another
usable? The ones in
battle
here,
line
outside of like
custodian,
Legends?
normal
I
custodian
thought they only had the
would be
one
used
hover
to
tank
describe
right
the
now, not like the
These ones
hover
are a little
transport.
bit more defensive and a little bit less killy, but every custodian is a master of death and very, very durable. These ones have
Sodality.
shields, which in your games of Horus Heresy can allow them to use.
Look at
shield
that
or special
friggin'
ones that make them a lot
mohawk.
more durable against incoming fire, which is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely, and their invulnerable save is better because of those shields as well. They're just great, and so essentially you're just making that choice, aren't you, between these two units?
A little bit killier or a little
Yeah,
bit more
and
defensive.
you probably, in truth, want a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Of course, there was more in that big army shot that we saw than just these two sodalities. Next up, we have the Shield Captain. I am unapologetic in that this is my favourite of the models in this Custodian release. I genuinely think this is incredible. The level of detail that they have captured on it is so good. It comes with a couple of options. Here you can see the helmeted head and the unhelmeted head. I really like that golden laurel wreath that has been sort of woven into her hair. If you don't know about Custodian Shield Captains, these are essentially a top tier fighter on the battlefront. They can go up against anything up to and probably including the first captains of the Space Marine Legions. If you're not a Primarch, it is not a pushover. And even if you are, be careful.
I think if I
a
ever
shield
played
captain backed up
Custodians,
by a squad of custodians can
I would
happily
get
take
a
on
little
Primarch,
too
local
out there
captain,
for color
and up
schemes.
against
Like, I get that
anything
most
that's
people
a
just do the
Space
gold
Marine,
and silver,
unless you've got
and then they try to make the
a
capes
very,
like
very
reds
impressive
and
sword of some
burgundies
sort,
and
you
stuff, but
definitely
like,
come out on the wrong side of that fight.
I don't
The
know.
miniature is
I'd like
absolutely
fade the
dripping
wing
in detail. I
armor.
think one of the things you can just see in that
I think I would
rotating
do
is there is
too
the
much with
text on the
color,
inside of the
and it would
shield.
take me
Quite
forever to
outrageous.
paint them, and I would
So
hate
one of
it.
the concepts of custodians generally is that they write their honor name inside their armor, and the idea here being that the titles that this warrior has achieved throughout their career has been so extensive that the achievements have gone beyond their armor and onto the shield itself.
Yeah, absolutely. A really fantastic model, and I wonder if we'll be talking about this as one of the models of the year this time next year. There's more inside this battle group than we've shown you so far.
Sisters?
We'll go to the
Sisters?
vehicles. So
Oh.
first of all, you have the Custodian Dreadnoughts.
So these being
there's two
plastics
variants. You
should
can
be
choose which one
pretty
you're
good.
gonna
I think
build.
that the current ones
The
are
first of
also
which is the Contemptor
only
Achilles
resin.
Dreadnought. It is equipped with an Achilles War Spear,
Recently, I
which
watched
is
a
like the
match.
length of
I
3
think it was
men.
Tabletop
Just a giant
Titans,
guardian spear,
Yeah,
basically, isn't
absolutely.
it? If you get put
where
inside
it
a
was
dreadnought,
all
you
baby
custodian,
carrier
I
Grey
really
Knights
like stabbing
versus
people with a
all
spear.
of
Can I
these.
continue to do that? And the answer was a firm yes.
Yeah, and it's phenomenally dangerous. Big damage. It's got armor bane, so vehicles are in real trouble. For me, this is my favourite of the two, and we'll show you the other one in a second. But look at the pose that you've got on it. It's
So the spear that it
really
has in its
cool.
hand
They
genuinely
made the
looks
most
like
of
they
sort of
did like
multi-plastic
Control T
functionality.
in
It's
Photoshop
really special.
and just scaled up a regular
Contemptor
spear
dreadnoughts, all
and
the
put it in the
Contemptor,
hand of a
particularly the
dreadnought.
Custodian ones have been available in resin before, obviously,
Yep.
and they've always been kind of highly posable.
Max,
None of that posability has been
I
lost,
have
it's
yet
just
to see a
plastic,
model
it's now
that is a
even easier
face
material to work
come
with,
out of
and
Games
you've got
Workshop
more
that
options and
isn't
ways of
immediately
building.
like, I hate
So
this.
You could include
Doesn't matter.
of these dreadnoughts in your army if you wanted to, and every single one of them could look completely unique and different.
I
in terms of
hate the
posing.
faces
So
on
let's look at
any
the
of
other
the
one in terms of-
models.
This is the Contemptor Galatus Dreadnought.
I
Again,
think this one's my favourite. I think
There you go.
he looks absolutely.
I think the
awesome. There's
only
something about a
unhelmeted
massive
faces I
sword,
enjoy
massive
out of
sword,
any
this
Games
is
Workshop
absolutely
system
worth.
are
And
the
it
orcs.
mirrors the
That's
two
it.
different
I think it's just
core
orcs.
unit types within the custodians,
Exactly
right?
so.
You've got one with the spear, the more aggressive one. You've got one with the shield and the sword, the more defensive one. So if you wanted to, you could pair them up, right? You could have the shield one walk around
It
with
would
your
be
shield
kinda cool, wouldn't
custodies, and your spear one go alongside the warriors that they fought with in life.
yeah, the Contemptor Galatus has the Galatus Warblade. That is just going to cut through like medium and heavy infantry like nothing. a thing to bear in mind about these is every dreadnought is piloted by like a fallen warrior, right?
I'm not so into the Kroot faces. Seraphon, though, I could see. Seraphon's
just bear in
decent.
mind that the warrior that is piloting this was a custodian, the absolute fighting elite of the Imperium, handpicked.
Just
and
give me one of
created by
these,
the
put a
Emperor.
staff in its hand, and call it a
These
Siren
are
Dreadnought,
really,
please.
really dangerous on the
Please.
tabletop. In addition to all of that armor, they're phenomenally skilled warriors still.
Yeah, a very, very good stat line. They can wade into whole phalanxes of enemy Space Marines and chop them to bits.
Yeah.
Very satisfying. They look great, though.
The final thing that's inside that custodian battle group box is
There it is.
This is the Caladius Annihilator grav tank. We'll talk more about other grav tanks in a minute, but essentially think of this as a main battle tank for the Legio Custodes force. It is equipped with an Arachnus Blaze carronade, which is the sort of double-barreled weapon you see on top. This is a devastating ranged weapon with 2 fire modes, the first of which is anti-tank. You're thinking 2 shots at strength 10, just blasting vehicles apart. Yeah, nice. Absolutely. Yeah. And then
when my friend was getting
ultimate
into
fire mode,
his
and he's great at gunning down heavier infantry.
Yeah.
So I think that
his
what we're talking about before,
custodes.
and I think you made a really good point of was
He had to
stuff in
leave
Legio
the
Custodes he's
the
got to do.
thing on the website where it emails you when things come back in stock for these. They came back in stock at 2 in the morning, and he ordered 2 of them. It's the exact same thing that happened to me with my Mutilated Vortex Beasts. Like, it was 2 in the morning when they were just like, yo dog, you want these models? He ordered them, immediately sold out afterwards. I ordered my Mutalists, immediately sold out afterwards.
Several things.
Yeah, absolutely so. Those are the units that make up the Custodian Guard battle group that we've shown at the start. There are more units coming along the way.
Yeah, that'll be the first thing you can buy. That'll be if you want to go
Max,
all in.
we just watched an entire segment of Blood Bowl,
Exactly
and
so.
all
next
of those
is the
faces
Caladius
look
grav
stupid.
tank. It is very
Every
similar
single
to the
one of them.
Caladius Annihilator grav tank. It's just not an Annihilator. Instead, it has an Iliastus accelerator cannon on its roof. Think Sikaran battle tank from the Space Marine Legions, if you know the setting and you know the war gear, is similar but upgunned version of that kind of weapon. So decent fire rate, gonna maul medium and light vehicles and pretty much any infantry you put in front of it.
Pew pew.
It's a big heavy duty tank.
Yeah, it's another great option for a line battle tank. You won't get many tanks in a Custodian army just because everything costs so many points.
I think this is the standard one for now, the one with the Godhammer las cannon.
Yeah,
You could probably run as the
absolutely.
Godhammer.
Sticking on the theme of the grav tanks, we have the biggest of all of
Yeah,
them,
this is the
which
transport.
Cronus
Does this
Flag Carrier.
exist right
Thing
now
is enormous.
in
We've got one of the
40K?
vessel front we'll show you in a minute. But
take a look.
essentially, this is big enough that it can carry an entire sodality of Custodian Guard and
Cornus.
Yeah, you get a kind of a sense of how big it is there because you can see the Custodians next to it. Remember that those are Terminator-sized miniatures, so this is a big old tank.
It really is. It's not unarmed as well. You can see the guns on it, but the one to talk about maybe is the Neutronium Cascade Projector.
Sounds cool.
We'll tell you more about that another time, but essentially it's a powerful gun in its own right. So in addition to disgorging the most elite fighting...
No, they have the Psychana Rhino,
with devastating firepower.
Seekers
all of
Visualizers,
these are
Virtus,
plastic as well.
Land
Yeah,
Raider
absolutely
Access.
plastic
No, so they don't have it right now. They probably won't get it either.
We saw before, you have the Venatari Sodality. So these are elite hunter-killer strike
Max
troops
showing his
within
true
the
color as an
Custodians,
elfist.
born aloft on these sort of gold wings, on contrails of fire, diving deep into the heart of the enemy.
Yes, this is your kind of rapid strike, fast attack choice for the Legio Custodes. You've got a couple of options there. You've got the spear, or you've got the buckler and pistol. Both of those are very lethal. They also all come as standard with Misericordia and effectively like ancient grenades from a bygone era that are more powerful than even...
Do these look dumb to anyone else, or are these like, yeah, we like them?
Some dangerous guys.
Because I don't...
the kinetic destroyers, which is the sort of handgun.
I'm kind of like whatever on
It's
these.
a really powerful hand cannon, basically. The Tarsus buckler.
Okay.
Which is the strength of
Okay,
incoming
Cobalt.
fire. Or if you're
Like, for me, I'm just kind of like, eh.
The Veritum Lance, say that fast. Really great on the charge. So options a go-go.
I feel like
case
the
your
jump
Custodians
packs are
weren't scary
phoned
enough,
in,
now
or
they're
maybe it's the
faster than
poses.
as
The
well.
poses,
You can see here
the pose feels like we tried to make it look dynamic, but we couldn't.
Yeah,
think you're right.
delivering
Right.
fun into the heart of the enemy. All of this stuff and where you find it.
Dude, look at that
exists
frickin'
in
transport.
the,
Look at the
Custodian
dread.
Guide, which,
Look at the transport.
show you here.
No, go
It's a
back.
big book. It's hardback. It's lovely. It's full of all the lore and the stories and information that you need to learn about the Legio Custodes. Oh, I nearly adeptus them. And in addition to that, it talks about other elements of the Imperial household. So
Yep, so you've got the Anathema Psychana, the Sisters of Silence, and you've also got the Assassinorum.
Yeah.
So you've got all the various tools of the Imperial household, the stuff that the Emperor kept to himself on Terra as his personal army. All very, very powerful forces in their own right.
Yeah, perfect. So we've got the models in front of us. It'll be fun to
Look at
do
that
a
thing.
bit of, show and tell. First of all, we have a little stunt guy in the front.
Heresy
This is
Bob for scale here.
A happy little solo auxiliary, and let's just stand him alongside the shield captain for context and scale.
It's going to get you a nice close in a
No,
second,
yeah,
guys.
Sisters of Silence fan in
Just
shambles.
I'll slide him back. Oh, so nervous touching these and don't want to script
Break it, don't break it.
Tell me about it. So the Custodian Guard are big, right? These are the pinnacle of the gene crafting that the Emperor does when he's creating his elite warriors. The only thing better, I suppose, is the Primarchs. And these didn't go wrong.
And
so-
half of them went bad, really.
Yeah, right,
So, I mean,
so-
maybe they're the best they got.
And then you can see the scale of the other things. So you put the little guy up alongside the grav carrier. It's just
No, put a
enormous.
dreadnought
This
next to
thing
that
is
thing.
huge.
God damn.
If I spin it round, you can see the entrance hatch.
It's like bigger than your hand, Adam. It's,
Yeah.
it's a big old thing.
So it's got this really cool entrance hatch. I was looking at some frames, and that's detailed on the inside. So I think if you're one of these modelists who likes to do that sort of thing, you might be able to like have it open or make a diorama or whatever it is you want to do.
I like the
So
keypad.
I think people are going to have a lot of fun with this, and
Just the size of the thing.
it's really cool, isn't it? What else is there to say on these? We should talk a little bit about the dreadnoughts. If you look at the sort of the chest armor on them, if I tilt them, you
Yeah,
might
so
be able to
there's a
see.
few different options on there, actually. I was looking at the kits before.
I
You've got
currently
options
feel for the
things like shoulder
cameraman
pads, so
who's
you've got
having to
multiple
move the
dreadnoughts
camera
with
around to
slightly
see the
different
stuff
shoulder
on the
pads.
table where he's
There's
just
some
like,
nice
God
little
damn
areas
it.
for heraldry. So these ones have got some heraldic devices designed onto them. There's some different
Those
faces,
look really
I think, in the
good.
kit. You've got some different chests. You've obviously got the different weapons. So you've got loads of ways of making these really different. There's
It's
loads
a
of detail on them,
Gundam.
so, but a lot of it's kind of sculpted on, so you could paint them very quickly if you wanted to. If you
Oh,
wanted
that'd
to,
100% be a
spray
good
them
idea,
gold,
Kobold.
Put a wash on them. They look pretty
You're
great.
almost ready for
Yeah,
war.
Probably an
already.
expensive idea, but a good
also,
one.
If you wanted to spend hours and hours and hours and make these, you know, the best model you've ever painted, they are a fine candidate for that as well. They are just really, really lovely models to put your hobby hours into and get something really nice out of it. The other thing that is worth saying about a lot of these miniatures is they will obviously have some dual purpose in Warhammer 40,000 as well.
Absolutely.
Yes, they
So
will.
If you have an Adeptus Custodes army, things like the Dreadnoughts, obviously
Yep.
are already a data sheet in your force.
The
You already
Calidus.
have data sheets for things like
So you can
the
finally
Dreadnoughts
have
with
one where
Dragon
when you
Spears,
get it, you don't have to put the guns in
shields,
boiling water to
shield
bend them
captains,
back.
Shield
True,
captains as
right.
well. So lots of these, if you wanted to put them into your Warhammer 40,000 army, there's absolutely no reason not to.
Yeah, perfect. So we're not done with the Horus Heresy. There's still more. There's obviously a little bit for the Legiones Astartes. So first up, we have the Legion Glaive Super Heavy Tank. You were really excited about this
I
one.
think this is my favourite. This is my favourite super heavy. And
The
I think it's
hell?
mostly because I just love Volkite. There's something
It
about
is a
it
cool
that's just
looking gun, isn't
like
it?
intrinsically heresy for me. And this is the largest plastic Volkite gun we have ever seen,
Mm-hmm.
not counting things like stuff on Titans that we might have seen in epic scale.
Yeah,
in
in
the
tiddly
past.
tiny scale.
But it is an absolutely enormous tank. It is obviously the Fellblade is the same chassis, but this has, I think, a cooler looking gun. Although I know you're a big fan of
So,
the
so Fellblade is the one for me, but I can't deny the coolness of this. The panning shots that you're getting right now really just show how cool and detailed this model is, right? That camera is so close to the model.
Does anyone know the
and it
Volkite
just
stats in 30k? Because
crisp and
Volkite
brilliant,
weapons
and it's like
in 40k are metric tons
Big
of
one, of course,
attacks,
painted in Iron Warriors
decent
colours.
strength,
It also looks
no
good with
AP,
in the other
and like
17
1
levels.
damage or something, or
Tailor
2
made in colours
damage.
first, I think.
But with
Yeah,
built-in
otherwise,
dev
It
wounds.
is a Volkite carronade, if you're wondering. It's just an enormous gun that will deflagrate your enemy should you so
Great
desire.
words, great special rule.
It's not the only Astartes tank available. There is also the return of a stalwart.
Oh, hello.
Legiones Astartes, and indeed the Space Marines of the Polypus Millennium as well, with the Whirlwind missile tank.
There's something just kind of lovable about the Whirlwinds. This is
It's
a
a change
classic-
in
Why
scale
does
of
it?
magnitude.
Why does it look like a
Nice.
snub-nosed
A very useful
tank?
little artillery piece. Does
I
look
love it.
useful. Very cool stuff for you in the game. This is a long-range artillery support piece that can reach enemy units where most of your things can't get to them. Lots of the different missiles you can give it have morale sapping effects, basically.
Yeah,
so
so-
it's a debuffing.
I don't know if I like
So
the
it
idea
comes
of
with
being
an
able to
ice
call a
standard,
tank
you upgrade those
adorable.
missiles to Pyrax tracks if you want. At which point you can literally just drive people off of objectives.
Cool. And I think
Fantastic.
there
Or
already
shifting
should have
hard
been
movement.
Baneblade
You know, we're normally trying to
plastic
kill
kits
dozens
in
and dozens of models to get
30k
objectives.
specifically.
Grab one of those
Make them
shells
walk
and
off
just,
it, then
yeah,
you can just
make
take
them give it to you.
40k they've had
this is obviously painted up in the
plastic
colours of the Imperial
Baneblade
Fist.
stuff, but in
We've
30k I
got
thought they
quite a
had
name that it's
some
as a
plastic, but you could get like
Templar.
resin
They're obviously the keenest
upgrades.
usually
I can't
to
quite
get into close
remember.
combat.
You can imagine how that went. It's like, my Lord Dawn, I'm now a Templar brother, and I'm itching to serve. He's like, sit in this at the back, please.
Oh, maybe a punishment, perhaps.
Maybe.
Grr,
maybe
woof,
it's like
woof.
Sigismund too much. Who knows?
That's
It is
the noise this
fantastic,
tank
and
makes
we're
when it
very
drives
excited
across
for
the
it. Where
field.
will you find all the information you need for these? Well, thankfully, there is a new journal Tactica on the horizon. It's called Mailed Fist, and it details the Legionaries that started super heavy tanks. Lots of lore, organization charts, and information on how they were fielded.
Someone bought one. Maybe they bought the resin one,
as well
though.
as some rules, including
Let me
the
take a look.
rules for the returning Whirlwind.
Absolutely. And those of you with eagle eyes may have spotted there is one
Ultramarine.
preview.
Ultramarine fans,
We
fear
are
not, we've got you.
contractually obligated to include at least one Ultramarine Space Marine in every preview, and you can see him there, about to be crushed under the uncompromising wheels of the Iron Warriors.
If he's not dead yet, he will be soon. Perfect. So, that was great. Loads of stuff for the Horus Heresy. I'm going to quickly dive into the questions and see where we are at. Right, so we've got, will the Custodes be playable in Warhammer 40,000? That's from A Blood of Dead. Well, you've covered
I think
that one
we've
already.
sort of covered that one.
Loads of those
Yes.
models will be, and it's really worth saying again, if it's got a analogous unit in Warhammer 40,000, by all means use it. If it suits you, that would be great. Will we ever see more Sisters of Silence?
Sisters
the
of
answer to that is,
Silence.
they have rules, and all of their lore and stuff is contained within that Liber Custodes, so you can continue to field them. I hope they will get
the
more
political
playable as well.
answer.
There's no new Sisters of Silence in this particular wave of releases.
Of
but
get
they
fucked
have
kids,
very
no
much-
new
yeah, there's
Sisters of
absolutely no reason in the
Silence.
future, and they absolutely feature in the rules in this expansion.
And the question is, can you tell us how many heads there were? I probably could have done, but I've forgotten because it's been quite a long preview. I think
How
you
many
get
heads for
how many bear heads? I think you get enough to do all of the models helmeted.
I think you
or
do, yeah.
bear
So if you want an entire squad in helmets, you can do it that way. If you want an entire squad in bear heads, you can do it that way as well, I think.
Perfect.
Bear
but
heads.
Don't make your buying decision based on what I said
Excellent.
right now, because I might be wrong.
I had a question earlier on that I actually got wrong.
Oh,
I
go
just wanted
on.
to revisit. So somebody asked if the Corsair unit was able to join, Huron's bodyguard was able to join another unit. I said it wasn't. It is, in fact, able to.
Yeah, it looks like it's a bunch of different leaders
And
that
the
you
last
could or
question,
could
this is
not
from,
take.
Love George, and the question is, in relation to the tank, is this plastic? Everything we've shown in this entire preview is in plastic. So I don't know which tank you meant, but the answer is yes. The Coronis Grav Carrier, the both the
Calidus.
tanks, the super heavy, all of it, it's plastic all
Do
the
you
way
want to just
along.
get a shot of the
Oh,
grab
yeah,
carrier next to?
the scale of the thing is
Yeah.
quite fun, isn't it? So try not to scrape.
So their
the
transport
metal
is
work
basically a
against each other.
Baneblade in
So I'm gonna put them
size.
to their sort of end to end. You can get a sense of how big they are if we get the camera on those. It is very nearly super heavy size. the
It's really
Coronas.
not far off. It's certainly not quite as bulky, perhaps.
I
as
think
the
they might
Space
travel
Marines.
in more comfort. Than
They definitely do.
than
Yes,
the,
they have a bit more space
Marines.
inside there, perhaps.
Fantastic.
But it's a big old tank, certainly.
Right, there we go. We are not quite done yet. We did promise
Yay.
you that we would return to the grim darkness of the far future.
What?
And here we are with a little teaser.
Oh, it's gonna be a video game. Oh. Huh? Oh, Iron Warriors? Oh no. Is it Perturabo? Oh, well, it's gonna be a teaser. Oh my god.
Well, that was a tease, wasn't it?
Oh boy.
Could mean almost anything.
It could. All we know is
Could have
that
been a
the
Defiler
range of
Claw,
approaches,
could have been a
some of you may
Mutilator.
have been able to form your own opinions on things.
Could have
that,
been Peter
maybe
Turbo.
hinted at with hazard stripes and sort of burnished silver armor. Who knows? If you want to have a look at those images again,
You
pop
bastards.
over to warhammercommunity.com. There'll be an article appearing there. If it's not already there, it'll be very soon, and you can maybe glean a few more bits of information. That brings us to the end of our preview. If you've enjoyed this and you want more Warhammer for tonight, over in the US at Palm Springs right now there is a Warhammer Open event taking place where there's fantastic games of Warhammer being played all weekend. And as soon as we're done here, we're going to throw back to the team out there who will be commentating on fantastic games of Warhammer 40,000, I believe. So jump on board and have a look at what's going on there by all means.
We are not going to be
Really
going to
what
that.
remains, I guess, is to say thanks to everybody who's made this work.
I think I'm
We've
gonna.
got a team of people who've operated all the cameras.
We're gonna volume down a little bit. Maybe even pause. Get the stream music back up and running. Alright, hang on. Where is it? That shoulder pad is very specific. Let's do some deep diving here. No, yeah, no, I know. Well, so I've seen this before. If I'm not mistaken, this is already part of the Chaos Space Marine list as a Forge World model, unless they pulled it down. So I imagine this would be the plastic kit for it. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. God, what are these called? All right, Kobold. Here it is. Oh yeah, these look like old 30K type situations. But this is a decimator. Because I'm trying to think of what else this could be. I mean, it's got the little, like, Terminator eye sensor. I feel like this is tank scale, though. I feel like this is like a Walker tank scale. It could be like a new type of leader, though, like a smaller scale, almost like Terminator Lord. That's designed a little bit to be like a heavier version of a Warpsmith. But you think they might just bring back the Decimators? Because, like, this does feel very 30K-esque. Because this kind of looks like... I think 30K Terminators or something usually have these as shoulders. Like the double layer nonsense. Could be a Terminator model. This has to be the new Defiler. There's a lot going on here and a lot in the background. This has to be the new Defiler. Unless these are... They could all be... No, they can't all be one unit. Maybe. It could actually just be Peter Turbo. Like... I don't know how else to put it. This does feel like it could be a Defiler, because it does look like it has a giant base, so they wouldn't be on smaller bases. Because this does feel like the old Defiler claw. Iron Warriors might get their own stuff. But, like, I'm trying to catch it. So, trying to catch it. This is kind of a Forge Fiend back, but it's not a Forge Fiend. Because this is like an ammo box here. This is what's throwing me off, right? You look at this and you kind of see, like, it has like the old school head. But what if... Okay, what if... What if the first handful of images are all the same model? This could be the oh wait, new Hellbrute? No. The Mutilators, right? The Mutilators were the other thing that was rumored that's supposed to be coming out. This could be a Mutilator hand. Because this does kind of look Obliterator-esque, right? It's got the Demon Engine flesh, but this also feels a little bit like a Hellbrute hand, which could be the reassessment of the Hellbrute that a lot of people were thinking could happen at some point here. Or, in grand scale, if you consider this being like the double layer there... I'm trying so hard to get the actual images. What if most of them are one model? Please. Oh, the foot. What if this is all the same model? What if this is Peter Turbo? Because this is the other side, right? We saw the Flamer. It has the same type of... This could all be the Defiler, though. What if the Defiler is the full refresh and the new weapons on it come off of its back and then it has the 2 melee arms? Or, like, this could be like an upscaled or an upgraded version. I feel like this is not all different models. I feel like what we're getting... playback speed. So this could be one claw on a giant base. Right? This could be its back, which has the Demon Engine elements. This is more of like a throw you for the loop, like, why is this here situation, right? I'm trying to catch the part of it that I actually want to see. There's like a foot that happens for like a split second. Happens before this. There we go. So this could be like his right hand. And this feels like the same model. Really, really, really big base. A lot of detail on it, including rebarb. I think this is all one model, and I think it's Peter Turbo. And they might... The Iron Warrior they show you is probably just because it has the logo on it. And they're just like, oh, they're coming. Because this could be his top right shoulder. With whatever the hell gun that is. This is his top left shoulder with the other gun. Whatever the hell this thing in the front is. Yo, what if the Defiler box has like an upgrade component in it that can make a Peter Turbo? Like, what if that's it? What if Peter Turbo's just a Defiler with the upper half as like a Primarch? No, they wouldn't do it. It'd be too stupid. But like, this could be his left arm. Yeah, I think this is all one model. And then this is just to be like, hey, they are Iron Warriors. Huh. Huh. Intriguing. Not bad. Let's go back, though. To those who weren't here at the beginning. So we got these things. I'm going to go get a beverage because my throat hurts. Don't forget to hydrate, kids. So these weren't the Raiders, right? No, these were the Raiders. These were the new ones. They would be firstborn scale, because technically Chaos Space Marines don't have Primaris scale outside of like demon infused units, like the 8-bound, the Flawless Blade, stuff like that. Those are our kind of Primaris. So we still have a lot of firstborn. But dude, he's in a band. They're very serious. Terminators, but these aren't, don't get excited. They're not like, oh, new Terminator sculpts. These are the same Terminator sculpts with upgrade shoulder pads, which apparently are, as far as we know what they said, exclusive to the box set that these come in. Maybe you can get them kind of on the side as like an upgrade sprue later, which they did sort of show the upgrade sprue stuff for regular Legionaries. This looks like, I don't know how many of you are familiar. I guess someone was talking earlier about how there is the Titus box that's coming out that's kind of like this. But before that, there was the GSC box. And the GSC box was a Patriarch, a couple tokens, a Primus, and a Magus, I believe. I think this is the same thing. I think what you get out of this is technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 different heroes that you could apply to the field in different ways. I don't think this is like Huron and his boys that hang out with specifically him. I think this is more like, oh, I want to put this in a chosen squad. I want to put this in a Legion. Yeah, this is awesome. This is a Xenos. This is straight Xenos. This is a lizard person and then a dog that's been used before. They called it the Bagessi, I think. It's Bargeist is what I guess they're referring to. But apparently these get huge. There's a different format of the game where there's one of these and they're like massive. But yeah, Huron uses Xenos. This is the least inspired of all the units, but, you know, it is what it is. But from the sound of it, yeah, you go like, all right, well, this guy's going to go in this squad, or maybe he stands on his own. Maybe some of these, like, this could probably go on their own if it's, like, infiltrate, lone op, or something. You could have this as a unit that just kind of hangs out somewhere. Xenos and stuff, I mean, I feel like with things like the Red Corsairs and the pirate themed, you would be more open to whatever allies you can get to gain strength from, right? So maybe it works. I don't know. Still the goofiest thing in the world. I mean, I get the machine side of it where it's just like, yo, dog, it's missing this. But then you go to the non-machine side of it and it's still missing that. This is just an orc head with short ears. I like the idea of the Xenos in this from the perspective of if you play Rogue Trader and you start learning about like that side of the universe, it's more likely that that could happen occasionally. Not often, but occasionally. Which kind of makes sense and is kind of fun. I like this detail right here. The Eldari token on his back. The little... Oh, dude, that's awesome, actually. The Soul Stones and the Eldari symbols that he wears as trophies. That's great. This just looks so goofy. I don't know, man. This one's pretty cool. This is the Xenos. Lizardman and 40k win. What if this was the introduction to a new type of unit that could arrive in the Tau Empire? Like next Tau ally spotted. So these are the new units. They're raiders. They look very much like they could have been a kill team. A lot of individualist details in here. Supposedly these guys are like infiltrate style. Oh, her? No, this isn't a Tau disc. This is kind of standard Imperial. They have hover discs for Imperial. This is apparently part of a ship. It allows her to take it into another ship when they conquer it, and then it'll connect to the ship's main system so she could control it. But yeah, Terminators are the same, just with a new shoulder pad. This is the new captain. They call it a Reeve captain. Apparently it comes with Infiltrate. Even though he does have the symbol on his leg that is specifically Corsairs, they said he can be used anywhere. So I imagine this front leg plate is replaceable with something that's a little more flat. Might even be like a Chaos Undivided symbol on it. But yeah. New captain unit. And then, yeah, the baby jump pack troopers for the Corsairs. Just not quite the full-blown jump packs. Although, supposedly they have shoot and scoot, at least from what they hinted at. The ability to hit and fade somehow. Which, Eldari already have a lot of movement tricks. And then to give them a new unit that's like, yo, dog, we have more movement tricks. Oof. The Corsairs or Void Reavers are back. Everyone was worried that they were just gone. we brought up this helmet, basically being the helmet from Sandman. But new Psyker unit for Aldari. Pretty cool. Prince Iriel's back. Not bad. Not a bad model. I definitely prefer the helmeted look. But it's pirates on pirates in the Maelstrom. And then we got two variants from the same box. We got the Viper box. It's now updated to this. But the Viper also provides you this one as well. So you'll get both of these in the same box. Which isn't bad. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see more Vipers come back into play. I don't see them that often. This just looks like an aircraft that's not an aircraft. It's weird. I kind of get it, I guess. And then this is coming out. So this is supposedly like the 500 Worlds thing, I guess. It's just the other side of it. It's like a different story occurring at the same time. It'll have more detachments in it for Chaos Space Marines. Maybe Aldaria detachments. If it's anything like the 500 Worlds thing, applying detachments for the Space Marines and the Necron, this could be freaking Chaos and maybe Aldari for more Corsair style stuff. That could be cool. Got these random boxes. I don't understand these. I'm guessing in this game mode, if you play a specific faction, they give you like a specific unit choice or something. I don't know how else to describe why the battalion boxes exist. Like, why does this exist? It's not a combat patrol. It's more supplementary stuff. So it feels like nobody bought a lot of witches, so we're going to put all the witches in a box and then sell them for cheaper, just in case you want witches for whatever reason. That's what that feels like. Although the Votann have a box too, which the robots are very big right now. I've seen a lot of Votann players utilizing the robots pretty heavily. People have also started using these bikes pretty effectively too. So like this is a good box if you're starting to get into Votann and you don't have a lot of this. Although this guy being in here kind of makes it not really worth purchasing too many times, I think. I mean, maybe. Ozark Bone Reapers from AOS. They got a little bit of an upgrade. New units, new boxes. I'm not huge into them. I do use some of their models as Demon Princes with Wings and the Thousand Suns. I do like that. But the models look nice. I think there's one person who was trying to get into the Bone Reapers for AOS. But again, locally speaking, AOS, we did a season of Spearhead, which got a lot of people out. We did a little bit of a talk on playing AOS, but I want to say there's like one person who was avidly AOS only and another person who is kind of AOS but also mostly plays 40k. And then that's it. Like no one really plays AOS. There's just a bunch of Spearhead players, so it's like, I don't know, it's awkward. But my AOS team is apparently getting their rulebook, which I did not expect. Here. Which I thought would have been really cool if maybe, just maybe, it would have given us a bunch of new units. But maybe the rewrite in here could fix some things. I don't know. This is one of those situations of I'm excited to see what the hell this means, but also if I get it and no one around here is playing it, what's the point? Right? We do get a new model, which doesn't really look like a Tzeentch thing. This looks more Slaanesh than Tzeentch, and a lot of the setup of it makes it feel more like a Blood Bowl character than anything else. However, these are ridiculous. I love the hell out of these. And they are very large. Dude, that is so wild looking. I want to buy them just to use them as sticky tokens. Like, I'm being real. I want to buy them as sticky tokens for 40k for my Thousand Suns. If I make an objective sticky, I'm tossing one of these onto the point. God, they look so good. Some more Lumineth fun. The Blood Bowl stuff, which is mostly just this one team. The Dragon Princes, which, not too into that. I thought there was supposed to be like a Zinch team dropping. I guess that was the rumor. But here we are. Dragon Princes. They did the Warhammer Plus animation, which was okay. This was pretty good, though. Supposedly the scale's a little different. I'm actually kind of worried. Because in a similar fashion to how I use the 30k Land Raider, and it's slightly smaller than the 40k Land Raider, supposedly the tank might not be the right scale. This one. Well, this in general, different gun rack. Because this is the hard to get tank for 40k. And it's always been in resin. It's always been annoying. So for it to finally exist in plastic is awesome. But if this is smaller than the actual release, I don't know if people will be cool with you using it in 40k. Same thing with these. Hopefully these are the right scale. Because these look so much better. Yeah, Legio Custodes up good, sort of. Really good models. Really good models. Great quality. I imagine we'll start seeing more of these in the 40k scale. That'll be pretty neat. This thing is ridiculous. It's almost a Baneblade in size. That is so crazy. Still don't like the jump packs here, but chat seems to enjoy them, so that's good. At least they're fine. This does feel smaller than it should be. Like, based on this image, I think these might be too small compared to what the actual tank size is supposed to be. Maybe. My buddy has his Sangard. He bought the 3D printed backpacks for him, the ones that have actual angel wings that look so much better. They look a lot better than the Victrix guard. Or the Victrix jump pack guys. Or whatever these are. The Venatari. My brain is stuck on Victrix. They actually look good. They have kind of similar thrusters, but then they have like proper bladed out wings rather than this like weird slide out metal platform. Like when the wings look like this, and my first thought is those won't work. It's just one of those oddities. Like, none of it should work in general, but those especially make me feel like whatever. This is hilarious. Dude. It's so much smaller than you'd think. I mean, we have someone who has them, but he'd have to get the other one to check it. Like, he'd have to. Or at least see it. Like, he has the size. I'm pretty sure from what I remember his tank being from when I saw it, I think it's larger. It has to be larger. This thing looks ridiculous, though. This looks shorter than a Rhino. So weird. But yeah, I guess the big thing at the end was literally the... It sucks that it was a teaser and not like an actual announcement. But this could all be, like we're saying, this could be one unit. It feels like it could be one model. Which would then just be Perturabo. I think this claw's the one throwing me off, but maybe he has like 2 big arms. And then this guy just throws you off. Not bad, though. Okay reveals. As always. With reveal shows and stuff like that. It comes down to whether or not the things shown are usually something you're actually looking for, which, I mean, I would have much rather personally preferred seeing something maybe along the lines of, I don't know. Something EC, something a little bit more universal. Like if they were adding a different unit into the Chaos Pantheon type stuff, and they were like, now most of the factions can use this. I'd be like, oh, cool. Zinch AOS, I want to see what the book is, but it's the problem of, do I buy it? Like, if I buy that book and I look at it and I'm like, wow, this is awesome, but then nobody plays it, what the hell is the point? Although, I will say a lot of the people in the Kill Team group that I'm a part of are more leaning into AOS as an interesting thing they want to play beyond Kill Team rather than large 40k, although a few of them do play large scale 40k, like full big hammer. Either way, not a half bad reveal show. Let me go see what the current round is. Or even if they're back up and running. I don't think they went back online. Yeah, they're not live again yet. But if you're interested in competitive 40k, they are showing it right now, or they should be going live soon again on the Warhammer channel, either on Twitch or YouTube. They're going to keep going with the games. Again, they already showed most of the first game. I don't think they made it the whole way through the first game, but they did most of the first game. Which involved Justin, and Justin was a local. Justin actually played a lot when we played at the store. I actually played with him in a 4v4 during a tournament where I still sucked at the game, and I still kind of do, but I scored my team no points that round, which I told them was going to be the case before. It was one of the weird... I was just getting back into 40k, and 3 of them were, like, very competitive. One of them is, like, a very top-end GSC player now. The other is pretty huge in NIDS. I think Tactical Tortoise went over the list he was winning tournaments with recently. And then Justin is just constantly at, like, the best tables in the big GTs. Those were my teammates. And they were like, you want to come? I was like, I do, but I suck. They were like, that doesn't matter, man. Come on. I was like, God damn it, bro. I'm going to... It just feels so bad when you talk to your 3 teammates and they're like, oh, we're stomping. How are you doing? And I'm like, I've put up no points on the board at all. This guy shut me out completely. I'm getting ripped apart here. Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. But it is what it is. It's good seeing him, though. Playing some games still. That all being said, thanks for hanging out, guys. This was fun. Maybe we'll do it again if any more announcements come down. And, yeah. Jack, I want to get to the place where I'm playing you and you're finally like, I want to see that moment where the plug hits the like hole in the wall and you're just like, I get it. And the next thing you know, you're just like top tier Death Guard player in the East Coast. Just ripping people to shreds like, oh dude, I understand. I see everything. The indecision goes away for you. You start to understand that it actually doesn't matter. Where you're just like, do I put my Terminators out there? And instead your brain's like, I have to, because that's part of my strategy. Whether they live or die doesn't matter. It has to happen. Then you just do it. And then you get all your points, and it takes the enemy forever to kill them. And then you kill all the things they have. And it's like, yeah, I did it. My strategy works still. Because that's it. That's from what I've been told, the graduation of how to play this game kind of occurs when you no longer care that much about what your enemy's doing. Like, it's weird to say, but when you don't care what your enemy's doing and you're just going to do your thing regardless and get points for it, that's when the game kind of changes for you. Some things you need to shift, some things you need to change. Sometimes you'll get used to like, oh, well, maybe I have to hold these guys for an extra turn. I'm going to let my opponent make a mistake kind of situations. But normally, like, kind of what we were talking about earlier with redeploys. Redeploys feel good sometimes, but when I'm playing on like these high-end tables with people at like RTTs who really... it's so wild seeing some of the people I do at RTTs. They put their stuff down. At the top of the game, you go, I have 3 redeploys, and they go, okay. And then they just keep setting their stuff down like nothing matters, because it doesn't. They don't care that you can redeploy 3 squads. They don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change their strategy at all. Their strategy persists, and they're going to kick your ass. So, could be good. Hopefully I can get a game together for Sunday. I gotta start practicing with EC before February. Got that tournament that I'm gonna be super tired for because I gotta wake up early and take my sister to the airport. That'll be great. Be dead tired at a tournament for 3 rounds in a single day. Either way, I gotta get some stuff cleaned up around here. We might be back tomorrow to stream. I keep putting off painting my Raptor kill team and finishing it up, but I really think I do need to just hunker down and get it done. I might try to base them tonight so we don't have to worry about it on stream. Cool, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling. Until next time, guys. Later.